topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you're all recharged and ready for the afternoon session of our summit. Up next, we are going to the thematic session, Leadership Perspectives in Advancing Educational and Research Innovation. Today, we're privileged to have 10 distinguished university presidents and vice presidents who take the stage to share their views on advancing educational and research innovation. Now, let's kick off with our first speaker. Please welcome Professor Mei Hong Chang, Vice President for Academic, the Education University of Hong Kong. Please welcome.
Okay, they're helping me with my height. So it's my privilege to share the innovations and developments on behalf of our university, the Education University of Hong Kong, at the symposium today. So I would talk about the two aspects. One is more about the Yeah, one is more about the teaching practice in our Bachelor of Education programs and our student experience in the Greater Bay Area in the GBA. And then I will move on to talk about innovations and pedagogy related to the use of new technology. So we are actually, this year is our 30th anniversary, showing our dedication to teacher education program over the last 30 years. And in fact, teacher education in Hong Kong has a very long history. We started off actually in 1881 when we trace back the history of the university in Hong Kong. And then, so this is more about the teacher education programs, and we are the largest provider in teacher education programs in Hong Kong, training teachers in the primary, secondary, and early childhood education areas. And so in recent years, we have started field experience or teaching practice in the GBA and other parts of mainland China. So what you see in the picture here is our students doing their field experience in a school, affiliated school of the Jinan University, which admits both Hong Kong and Macau students. And so our students are going there to have their field experience or teaching practice in this secondary school. And so in our new curriculum, starting in 2025 to 26, we are also introducing a compulsory course for all our undergraduate students, which require them to work and live in our country, that is in mainland China. And so they would be doing internship programs and also doing some visits and also hands-on activities during the 2 weeks. And we are also offering for our non-education programs, the non-BEd programs or other programs, the students with opportunities for internship in China and in the GBA. And so we have also been organizing, promoting a lot of activities related to professional conduct and ethics of teachers. So what you see are two activities. One is we are setting up a teacher professional ethics base, a joint base in Chufao University together with EduHK. And we are sending our students to Chufao Normal University for an education program as well. And then on the other photograph, what you see is a recent forum, a nationwide or regional-wide forum emphasizing on teacher professional conduct and ethics. And this activity was actually jointly organized together with the EDB, the Education Bureau in Hong Kong. And it was just in December. The second part, I move on to about innovations in teacher education. And so we are actually developing among our undergraduate students a pathway called AI Literacy Program, which is a non-credit bearing pathway. And students have 50 hours of non-formal learning under a course we call it self-regulated learning in AI with chatbots. And then we also promote the use of AI in teaching and promote in our undergraduate program digital literacy and metaverse education. We also offer programs that emphasize on education technology and AI. And what you see in the picture there is actually the first regional Apple training center in the region. And so we offer courses for teachers and also our students in using new technology. Other than training, we also promote pedagogy in the use of AI. So we have put forward a 6P pedagogy. So the 6P stands for plan, which means corresponding to the 4 folds of self-regulated learning, where students will set goals and plan their way forward. And the second P is prompt, meaning that we guide the students to generate questions for inquiry and prompts using text-based generative AI tools. The next one is preview, and the students will ensure the output from the tools is previewed. They check for accuracy and screened for discrepancies. And we ensure that the students will use or adopt their critical thinking skills in examining the information and provide alternative views for arguments, etc. The next one is produce. In produce, we say that the students will produce the written content and by synthesizing their own ideas and personal insights. So it's not only relying on technology. And the next stage is we encourage them to do peer review of the content. And the last one is a reflection of their learning journey, and they record it in a portfolio, and we call it portfolio tracking. And so we believe that the use of AI tools can be instrumental in nurturing independent and innovative thinking among our students, and also we are also very aware that they have to use it with a positive attitude. So my sharing is completed here, and thank you for your time and attention, and let us continue to collaborate and inspire each other in this forum. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Chang. Please be seated. Now, let us welcome on stage Professor Nancy Yip, Council Chair, the Greater Bay Area Association of Academicians, President of the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Please welcome Professor Yip.
Good afternoon. I hope you all are enjoying the summit. And so I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to share with you what HKUST is doing in elevating our endeavors in education, research, and knowledge transfer. So with the rapid emergence of disruptive technologies, it is really changing the way we live, the way we work, and the way we learn. And for teaching, it's not just relying on books, and it's not just held in classrooms. Actually, knowledge is now readily accessible through different means. And what are the solutions? The solutions require interdisciplinary thinking, collaborative problem solving, and innovation. So for us in the higher education sector, we need to reimagine how educational paradigm, what kind of these paradigms is required. Now, I want to share with you the approaches HKUST use in order to build excellence on the 3 pillars: transformative education that evolves over time, pioneering research that breaks new ground, and effective knowledge transfer that bridges academia and society. So first, let me talk about education. At the university, one of our key objectives is to nurture world-class talent. We want to nurture these talents that have a global vision. And we need to offer a globally oriented education that values diversity, cross-cultural engagement, and international collaborations. So HKUST forms partnership with universities worldwide, and HKUST is the 3rd most international university in the world, with the highest percentage of non-local undergraduate students in Hong Kong. Now, I want to name some examples. For our business school, we have the World Bachelor in Business program. It involves 3 continents with 3 institutions. We also have the EMBA program in partnership with Kellogg, and this program is ranked 12 times #1 in the world. We believe that in order to tackle global challenges, we need to nurture talents with interdisciplinary training. So in order to do that, at HKUST, we have initiatives that drive innovation. We develop cutting-edge technologies and also work closely with industries. And we devise solutions for overarching grand challenges. In fact, HKUST is a trailblazer in interdisciplinary education. Way back in 2008, we set up the Interdisciplinary Program Office. And this program office was elevated to become Academy of Interdisciplinary Studies last year. We were the first institution to offer undergraduate program called Extended Major Program. So we offer students the program for attaining the major in a certain field, and also allow the students to take courses in emerging areas such as AI. So we call this Major Plus X. We also continue to strive for incorporating innovative pedagogy into traditional learning in order to unlock the exceptional talents in our students. And the ways we accomplish that is highlighted on this slide. So just give you an example, we actually offer the bachelor degree program in individualized interdisciplinary major. So this is the first program in Asia that allows our students to tailor the interdisciplinary major based on their interests and aspiration. We also had a division called Division of Integrative Systems and Design, and this really involves project-based learning that allows the students to be exposed to real-world challenges, and in this way, they attain the ability to apply the knowledge to solve real-world problems. We also leverage innovative technologies in order to continue to empower educational innovation. We're in fact one of the first universities in Asia to implement MOOCs extensively, more than a decade ago. And with the Guangzhou campus, we are the first in the world to have the metaverse twin campuses offering virtual reality courses. We were also the first university in Hong Kong to embrace ChatGPT and allow our students to use ChatGPT in order to enrich the learning experience. Now, I would spend the next few slides talking about our research endeavors in our efforts to push the frontiers of knowledge. So at HKUST, we are focusing on 6 strategic areas, and these are the areas that we believe we can make the most impact. These areas also align with the national priorities and address global challenges. And for these 6 areas, it covers different fields, and we believe that by recruiting the top talents in this field, we'll be able to make impact to society. In terms of the research infrastructure, in fact, HKUST was the first university in Hong Kong to provide state-of-the-art facilities, the central research facilities, in order to support our colleagues to do cutting-edge research. And to date, we have about 10 central research facilities in Hong Kong, at HKUST, and this is really the pillar of our university's research infrastructure, and it plays a vital role in supporting multidisciplinary research. We're also home to 2 state key laboratories and 2 national engineering research centers. To date, we have close to 70 research institutes, centers, and joint labs. Like other universities, we put a lot of efforts into building global partnerships, and these partnerships actually with institutions and also research organizations in different parts of the world. To date, we have partnership with about 300 of these organizations. We have also established 4 Inno-Hong Kong centers in different areas, and we work very hard to, again, organize all these international conferences and seminars so that we can bring to Hong Kong these world-class talents who will contribute to establishing Hong Kong as an international innovation and technology hub. Other endeavors include setting up specialized research clusters for creative revolution by fostering interdisciplinary collaboration, concentrating various expertise, and targeting innovations. And what I put on these slides are just some examples of this TEDx at HKUST, which includes sports tech, art tech, and health tech. Now, the third pillar of the university involves knowledge transfer, and we believe that for our research outcome in the laboratories, it is important for us to take it beyond the lab and benefit society. In terms of our patent intellectually property portfolio, we actually are ranked number 1 in China in terms of the patent influence metric. And our patent utilization rate is about 30%, which is on par with top institutions such as MIT. HKUST also is ranked number 1 in Industry Income Index in Hong Kong based on THE ranking last year. So by forming industrial partnerships, we lay the strong foundation for actualizing the research outcome from our colleagues. We believe that the university can really fill the critical gap between the research findings and real-world applications. And to do this, what we have done is to focus on forming a partnership with industry through joint labs and joint research institutes. There's a large number of industrial alliances that we have formed over the years. Now, we emphasize on entrepreneurship since the founding of the university in 1991. And this really made us the first university in Hong Kong to have a strong foundation for entrepreneurship education, training, and support. Our efforts in the past 3 decades brought about a very good outcome with more than 1,700 active startups, which includes 9 unicorns and 11 IPOs. And the companies are listed on this slide, and we are very proud of the achievements of our faculty, students, and our alumni. We are working very hard to establish the HKUST InnoTech Park. We believe that this will provide the ideal platform for innovation and technology development. And by doing so, we can establish closer collaboration with our industry partners. And this really is taking reference of what has been achieved in the US, for example, Silicon Valley, led by Stanford, Kendall Square, led by MIT. And this Innovation Technology Park will be open to both HKUST members and external stakeholders. So finally, I think based on the talks presented earlier, we all agree that talent is the key component of the innovation and technology ecosystem. What makes a university great is the people. So our highest priority remains attracting, nurturing, and retaining exceptional individuals, not just at HKUST, but also in Hong Kong. But the talents will thrive best in a vibrant ecosystem. And I believe with the support from the government, both the Hong Kong SAR government and the central government, we are really well positioned to make impact. And so I really look forward to working together with all of you to build this innovation ecosystem, to make Hong Kong the place to go to for international talents, and in doing so, help Hong Kong to become the international innovation and technology hub. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Yip. for sharing with us the important work that the HKUST has been doing. Thank you so much. Please be seated. Next, we're going to be hearing from Professor Li Jin, Vice President, Global Strategies for Southern University of Science and Technology. Please welcome Professor Li Jin.
All right, thank you. Thank you. It's quite an honor to get on this podium, especially speaking after Professor Ip and Professor Chen. Both the EDU Hong Kong and Hong Kong UST about 30 years old. We are a very young university in mainland China. We're about 13 years old. So to us, both of you are truly big brothers or sisters, as well as many other universities represented in this room. And indeed, we take Hong Kong UST as our role model in establishing the Southern University of Science and Technology. So in the next 15 or 20 minutes, I'm gonna go through the things that we were trying to do. You can see that we draw a lot of wisdom and inspiration from what our peers, big brothers and sisters in Hong Kong, are doing. So my speech will be entitled Cultivating an Innovative Ecosystem in China's High-Tech Hub. What makes Shenzhen unique? Shenzhen is just across the river. We are one of the first special economic zones in China, pioneering reforms and opening up. It's still a window for China looking outside at this time. It has proximity to Hong Kong and Macau, and which makes it a very enriching land for science, technology, and also for global financial resources. It's a very vibrant business place, especially the private sector in China. And you probably have heard about this famous slogan, time is money, efficiency is life. 时间就是生命. 时间就是金钱, 效率就是生命. That's actually started from Shenzhen. It's also increasingly an innovation center for China, thanks to the risk-taking and failure-tolerant environment, because the whole city of Shenzhen is a very young city. The average population is something like 33 years old. The city itself has a 43-year life. So it's very young. It's constituted mostly of migrants. So we have very short history. We forget about the failures. We are almost like the Western, especially the Silicon Valley environment. You can just take all the risks, and if you succeed, we'll remember you. If you fail, you're gonna start again. We'll forget it. As a result, the place has already been a high-tech hub in mainland China with over 24,000 high-tech companies, and including about 300 of them surrounding our campus. The city spends about 5.5% of its GDP on research and development. I was told that this is probably the highest ratio among all the mainland Chinese cities. The city, as I mentioned, is about 45 years of age. Most of the institutions in the city has a history of less than 30 years. The first one was established as Shenzhen University, and the second cohort, including some of the universities represented in today's symposium, like Peking University and Tsinghua University. We are among the latest additions. And also, CHK has very generously lent hands to the development of Shenzhen by setting up its CHK Shenzhen campus. So the university was formally established in 2012 with the original intention to become a research university with high starting point and high positioning, and also to pioneer the education reform in mainland China. It has two missions. The first one is to explore the modern university system with the Chinese characteristics, which becomes increasingly important even today. The second one is to explore the training model of innovative talents. It has about three development stages. The first one is the exploratory and establishment stage, which lasts about 4 years, with the formal establishment and approval of the university by the Ministry of Education in China. And the second stage is what we call a rapid development phase, which lasts until about 2020, when it achieved its first 10-year of formal history. And the third stage is last 3 or 4 years, which we call a high-quality development phase. The university has a few important milestones listed on this slide. I will not elaborate on them. Some of the key achievements, again, we try to become a world-class university by attracting the best talents. We invest a lot. We are invested a lot by the Shenzhen government, a few dozen billion US RMB invested already, and continuous generous support by the local government. We are at the heart of the Great Bay Area, which means that we draw a lot of resources from the industry innovations. And also we have been very fortunate to have learned from the role models in Hong Kong and many other places by setting a very informative and flexible governance structure, including a very powerful International Advisory Council. Many people here are the International Advisory Council members for our university. And also we have a very strong network, global network. About 90% of our faculty have studied and worked extensively abroad. Myself, I have worked about 15 years at Harvard and Oxford before returning to mainland China. Just a few remarks on the so-called Lianghui, the important parliament meetings that occurred about months ago in China. This is the National People's Congress meeting, and also the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference meeting. In Chinese, we call it 人大人政协. These are the two chambers of the Chinese parliament. And in that meeting, the premier, Mr. Li Qiang, delivered his work of the government report. And it listed all the important challenges externally and internally. I would not go through the list, but you can see that China does face a lot of challenges going forward. But because of the challenges, we also should pay attention to the opportunities, and there are quite a few of them. For example, we have vast market demand because we have about 1.4 billion people altogether. We have a very complete industrial system to ensure the supply, which is not going to be too disrupted by the change of the global supply chains. And we have a huge and high caliber workforce. We have the capacity for science and technology innovation, which continues to grow. We have new industries, new business models, and new growth drivers, which are expanding at a faster pace. We have internal drivers for development, which is what we're going to talk a little bit about, the so-called new productive forces. And also we have the underlying trend for economic recovery and long-term growth, which remains unchanged. So a little bit about this so-called new quality of productive forces. In the morning, several speakers mentioned this. I think there's an important triangle, the education, science and technology, and talent building. These together constitute the new quality productive forces. We think that some key ingredients include the workforce, which is going to be more highly skilled, the means for production, which would be more technologically advanced, and also the object of the labors, which we're going to see a wider range of the applications. I'm not going to talk about this, but I was a member of the CPPCC, so I brought in some of the proposals, policy proposals during the two sessions. Again, for the interest of time, I'm not going to talk about it. So let's go to what SUSTEC aims to do to educate our talents. There are a few things that we want to do. We want to educate more scientists that are going to focus on key scientific problems. We want to educate top-notch engineers that will focus on core technologies. We also want to educate innovative entrepreneurs that can crack key technological problems, and also competent managers that can excel in modern governance. So we have, like the other two peers that have just got on the podium, we have extensive collaboration with the industry. Some of the companies that we work close with, particularly those in the Great Bay areas, are listed on this screen. I'm a board member for Pingnan Group and Shunfeng Express, and I'm about to become a board member for TCL, which are some of the key drivers for technological progress in the Great Bay areas from the mainland side. The university has also recently been chosen as a member of the National Program for the Schools of Excellent Engineers, one of the 24 schools. And also we became a member joining the network of the National Reform Project on Engineering Postgraduate Training. This is 1 out of 30 programs. We have been very closely following the local government's call for strategical focus on the 20 strategical industries and 8 future industries in China, so-called 20+8. And as a result, we have been spending a lot of efforts on building 10 major research platforms. And also some other major centers, particularly the one that's in Hetao, which is neighboring, joining the Shenzhen and Hong Kong area, which would facilitate scientific exchanges between mainland and overseas scientists. We have a number of joint labs with enterprises, and we are working very hard to bridge the gap for science and technological innovations to achieve industrial commercialization. And we have started to generate some incomes because we are only 13 years old. At this point, it's about 2.2 billion RMB per year on research income. Technological transfer within China, we have been progressing pretty steadily, but compared to many of the peers here, we're still lagging behind. So that's about it, about the Southern University of Science and Technology. Again, we are a little brother. We want to work hard. We want to learn from each one of you, and we would like to extend more collaborations with all of you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Jin. Please be seated. I'm sure we'll foster a lot of collaboration and partnerships through the summit. Now, joining us on stage, we'll be inviting Professor Chen-Sing Lee, Provost and Deputy President of the City University of Hong Kong. Please welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank President Yip and President Chang for giving me this opportunity to talk here. This is the outline of my talk. I will first introduce CityU's initiative for promoting innovation, the Hong Kong Tech 300 program. And then I will talk about our new education initiative for nurturing talents for innovation and venture creation at all levels. I will first start by asking the question, can conventional PhD training address society need? And from this, I will start to discuss how we introduce some new PhD education. And then I would introduce how we incorporate innovation and venture creation into our program at all levels. Okay, this is our Hong Kong Tech 300 innovation program. It started a little bit more than 2 years ago. We aim to launch 300 startups in 3 years. But another reason is we want to make the best use of our patent. CityU have lots of patent. And in terms of number of US patent, CityU is ranked #1 in Hong Kong. So, but our utilization rate is not high enough. So hopefully with this program, we can increase it. This program is not only limited to CityU community. The public can also join us so long as they use one of our patents. Okay, at the initial stage, we will provide, the laser pointer is probably too, okay. At the beginning stage, we provide each team with $10,000 worth of training. Basically, they need to write a proposal, tell us which of the CityU patent they want to use, and how the patent will play a role in their business. Then, if it is good, we give a free training program to them. And then, a few months later, after they further develop their idea, they will write a more in-depth proposal. And at this stage, if they pass, they will be given 10,000 Hong Kong dollar at seed funding. And another few months, after they further develop their business, start to have some, let's say, preliminary or minimal viable product, etc., they will write another proposal. If it is supported, we will provide them with 1 million Hong Kong dollar. At the final stage, we will help them and introduce them to various angel investors and getting up to more than 10 million Hong Kong dollar. I think for the whole scheme to success, one thing is most important is, again, talent. So we put a lot of emphasis on recruiting now over 150 mentors. These mentors are from the high-tech industry and from the angel investor, etc. As I mentioned, at the various stage, we have different selection process. But the good news is that many people who sit in our selection panel are actually from the angel investor. So they will have a preliminary look at which team is potentially more viable. And of course, their opinion is very important on how to select a team that have higher chance of success. And up till now, we already funded more than 130 teams with the $1 million. And we have many collaborators and 15 co-investors. These 15 co-investors have already committed $1.2 billion to invest on this team. Okay, this is our first initiative, and actually this is very useful that it builds an infrastructure and ecosystem for CityU. And with this ecosystem, we can start to do the next, our education. In last September, we formed a new CityU Academy of Innovation. The aims of this academy is to provide high-quality education on innovation and venture creation as both postgraduate as well as undergraduate level. As I mentioned, most important at all is the people. Without the people, nothing we can do. So we have recruited a strong team of external advisors to become our adjunct professor advisor. And all these people are very experienced industrialists, deep tech company owner, or people in angel investing company. Okay, with this academy, this is the 4 initiatives that we will do. The first one is the graduate research innovation track that already started a few months ago. This grid will provide short and intensive courses for our RA, our PhD student, or visitor. I will talk a little bit more on this in a couple of slides. The other one that I want to mention is the PhD by innovation. And then we have also introduced a master in venture creation. And the final one is what we plan to do is we plan to send our undergraduate students who have interest on innovation and startup to various places in the world, work in the startup company as intern. Let me talk more and using this PhD by innovation as an example. I will start by asking a question. How do we usually train our PhD students? Well, we usually train them to become ourselves, become the next professor, right? We teach them how to do research, how to write grant proposal and paper, giving lecture, and the next batch of PhD students. But then the question is, how many PhD graduates will eventually become professor? Well, someone actually wrote a paper on this. Larson wrote this paper with the title, Too Many PhD Graduates or Too Few Academic Job Opening. Well, pretty interesting title. Actually, the abstract is even more interesting. He using data published by the American Society for Engineering Education. So this covers PhD graduate in the engineering area. And this is his prediction based on those data, of course, with some assumption. His conclusion is that in engineering, a professor in US graduate a little bit less than 8 new PhD during his entire career. And of course, at the steady state, only one of the students will take his position eventually. So not that many, right? And here is another study with real data. This is the PhD graduate, 10,000 of them graduate over the 15-year period between year 2000 and 2015. They found that there are roughly 26.1% of the graduate will become professor. Actually, this is the average. If we consider the STEM area, it dropped to 20%. For social science and business, it's up to 40% of them can end up being professor. But engineering science, only 20%. Well, then maybe we should reconsider how we train our PhD. Should we at least train some PhD, not aiming become professor? Well, how about train some PhD for innovation and venture creation? That is why we come up with this new program of PhD by innovation. It will be of the same academic rigor as regular PhD program, except that we have much more emphasis on research in innovation-driven field with commercialization-ready idea and real-world impact. And for ordinary PhD, we consider a paper is important, right? But in this PhD by innovation, we consider patents are equally important. Another major difference is that other than with his professor, who is a faculty member, we have also, each of them will also have an industrial advisor. So every PhD by innovation have 2 advisors. And we will train them with skill of technology transfer, commercialization, writing business proposal, how to pitch for angel funding, etc. And also, having said that, I think it is very important that we have the Hong Kong Tech 300 ecosystem. This ecosystem can provide a lot of support to students, provide opportunity to them to engage in entrepreneurial activity and collaborate with our industrial partner. Okay, then I would like to talk about our Greek graduate research innovation track. As mentioned, this will be an intensive courses. It can be up to 3 months to 6 months, depend on how many courses you take per semester. And this will give knowledge and skill set necessary to create and manage startup. We will link our students to industrial partner. We will provide them with one-on-one mentorship. And of course, our Hong Kong Tech 300 ecosystem will provide them with various opportunities. And then in the coming September, we will start a new master course called MSc in Venture Creation. It is designed to equip recent graduate, aspiring entrepreneur, as well as working professional with comprehensive knowledge and skill needed for venture creation. We will, again, with our Hong Kong Tech 300 ecosystem, we will provide our students with various access to our patent, to our technology, as well as to the market, link them with the investor, etc. And then what I mentioned is the program at postgraduate level. Actually, we also have various programs at undergraduate level that emphasize a lot of entrepreneurship. For example, this program called the Global Research Enrichment and Technopreneurship Program actually have two aims. We train the student after they graduate, eventually either would like to take up a scientific research career or they want to start a business on deep tech. In this program, it's very much inquiry-based and research-driven learning. We will train them a lot on entrepreneurship and business planning. We emphasize a lot of internship in local as well as overseas research institute or technical startup. And we also provide them with mentorship. For example, we work with the Federation of Hong Kong Industry. They committed to provide one-to-one mentorship to this student and to support this program. So basically, this is the initiative of City University from undergraduate level to master to PhD, as well as short courses in all directions, hopefully can help Hong Kong to train the next batch of talent on innovation and venture creation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Lee, for sharing with us this Hong Kong Tech 300 and also some new education initiatives at the City University of Hong Kong. Thank you so much. Next, let's welcome on stage Professor S. Zhou Qin, President of Lingnan University, to speak to us. Please welcome.
All right, thank you. I want to thank Nancy and Jingguang for inviting me to speak here. So I think a lot of the good speakers before me have talked about this research innovations, which are very, very important. The other side of this panel or this session is actually on educational innovation. So I think what I would like to cover in the next 10 minutes or so is to step back a little bit and see what we are facing in front of us as human beings, all right? So I think the title of my talk is on reimagining higher education in the digital era. Basically, from about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, this chat GPT and GPT are coming around, okay, from the horizon. So for the last 14, 15 months or so, I bet you have had a very different view about AI and digital technologies than before November 2022. That was the time when ChatGPT was released, okay? So I myself is a data scientist or AI researcher, so I think I'm sort of at the forefront of these technology advancements. And also I'm now leading this Lingnan University, which is a century-old liberal arts university. So what we are facing, what's going to change us is really something that's on top of my mind and also on top of many of my colleagues' minds. So I hope to share with you some of our thinking and also practices at Lingnan. Okay. First, Lingnan University is one of the leading liberal arts universities in Hong Kong and also in Asia. Being liberal arts, we train and educate people first, and then train them on surviving skills where they can make a living, okay? So that's a very important difference from a lot of other universities. So we are carrying the liberal arts education model, and also we equip our campus and university with both the facilities and also our educators with this kind of background. So we have a very good student-faculty ratio and also close relationship between students and professors and also staff members. We have a close-knit campus in Tunmen in Hong Kong here, okay? This university has been very much international from like a century ago. Now we have about 85% of our students having international study experience, and more than 70% of our faculty members are having an international passport. Okay, they have an international background. We have probably the highest percent of hostel beds, or this 寄宿式学校. Okay, initially the campus was designed to have a 1-to-1 ratio of 1 hostel bed and also 1 student at the undergraduate level. That was the original design. Now our number of students has improved or about doubled since 30 years ago. So we don't have that, but we still guarantee at least 2 years of the undergraduate education life will be living on campus. With that kind of residential study experience, you can guarantee that they have almost all their time living on campus together with their peers, their peer students, and also with the faculty, with the warden, with all the tutors we have together living in the hostel buildings, okay? The other thing, last thing I want to mention is being a liberal arts model, our average class is 21 students per class. So I think it's a little too few. We can afford to make a 20% increase easily, to make it 25 students per class. But anyway, that's our sort of potential to grow for the next few years. So you probably know this ChatGPT was available in Hong Kong, and we were one of the first to make ChatGPT available on Lingnan campus for every student and faculty and staff member. They have free access to ChatGPT. Now, our entire campus has free access to GPT 4.0, which is the next version, and also 4.0 Turbo, okay? So with the Turbo, you can do many things other than generating text. You can draw pictures, you can make a poem, you can do any other things you want, and other than this video part. So when I had this access to GPT 4.0, I basically asked it to do a few things for me. Lingnan has about 130 years history, started in Guangzhou. Okay, so we operated in Guangzhou for 64 years before moving to Hong Kong. And another anecdote is that Lingnan University graduated the first female bachelor student in China in the co-educational environment. That was 1921. So this is historical. So I asked GPT-4, draw the picture of that student that graduated in 1921, but a female student, okay? So that's what I get. You see on the left, that's, of course, a generated picture. It's not real, but it looks like from that time, okay? The background, it chose to do a black and white photo, so that all matches to 1921 time. The next one I asked was actually, how about somebody graduated from Lingnan in 1980? So you see that the girl on the second and from left. So that's also showing this time. Okay, it's about 40 years ago. So then I asked, this was last year, how about a graduate from 2023 last year? Okay, so that's what I get. Okay, in 2023, I had 2 pictures generated. One is an Asian girl, the other one is African. So the Asian girl is no question, right? We all know that's a typical Hong Kong student. But then on the right-hand side is something puzzled me for a second, but then I realized it's actually reflecting Lingnan University. We have quite a number of African students in our undergraduate, also graduate, and also on our faculty. So this is something really deep about GPT. So they actually know what's going on our website, on our campus. So our African students are very active on the stage doing MCs or performing other things, okay? Just maybe a month ago, you heard about this Sora from OpenAI. And they are showing a few examples they can generate in a matter of a few seconds, okay? They can generate a video based on a prompt. So you say, you ask it to do, make a video of a young man in his 20s and sitting on a piece of cloud in the sky and read a book, okay? So if you just ask that, then Sora will do it for you. And this is the generated video, all right? And sitting on a piece of cloud, reading a book. So think about this, right? Now we're doing all the education in arts, in social science, in other things, even in sort of media and all other sort of intellectual work. It's all done by the AI in a matter of maybe a few seconds, and then you iterate. It's probably several minutes. You can have something done. Okay, so that's the beginning of what we're facing in the next decade or so, or even longer. So for us, for higher education, these are the questions I would like to ask. I don't have all the answers, but this is really what's coming, okay? One is, how will this AI affect our curriculum? Is it relevant to liberal arts? And is liberal arts education endangered? And then if that question is not enough, I'll say, what kind of education models will be in danger? All right, so we have a lot other students trained by non-liberal arts or specialized skill training, and that's a big question, okay? With AI, with all these generative results, some of them are not real, okay? They could be hallucination and so on. So then how do students obtain critical thinking skills with generative AI? So how would students be trained to tell something is not good, okay, not what they want, and then try to revise? So I would say classics learning. What we have been trained with the classics, with our history, our philosophy, our culture, that has to be there to build the value systems for our younger generations, okay? Will AI replace human? And also, will technology advances make them harder to use or easier to use? So these are the questions, okay? So we don't have all the questions, but we're making some practices and also addressing these potential future challenges. So at Lingnan, as I said, we make GPT 4.0 and GPT 4.0 Turbo available to everybody. Okay, we want everyone to use it to improve efficiency. If they have to make mistakes, we want them to learn what is a mistake if you use AI to make it, okay? We use them as a tool. Most likely it's revolutionary. And the answer to one of the questions is AI can be made easy to use, not harder, okay? In the past, say rocket science was made harder, but we're making it easier, okay? We think liberal arts education is more important because it really trains students with the creative and critical thinking, and that's more important with the generative AI that's available. Now, skill-based education will be in danger. Okay, if someone is, I think this is Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. He said just 2 weeks ago, he would not encourage anybody to study coding, computer coding, okay, because that will be replaced by AI. So then we want to train students with a good command of AI, and they can be more competitive in the marketplace. I will skip his talk and then focus on where we do AI training at Lingnan. Number one, we're making generative AI as one of our common core courses. That means students who come to our campus in year one, they will study these common core courses in generative AI. Our Faculty of Business is a leader of data science and AI. 5 years ago, we graduated first batch of undergrad already. We are also having other PhD and masters. We're forming a new school of data science. From a month from today, we will have it launched, and we're hiring a new dean. And this School of Interdisciplinary Study is where we do a lot of AI for science, okay? AI for new material design. And the Faculty of Arts is really one of the leaders. And arts and digital science are working together. This program, Animation and Digital Arts, was the most popular program in Hong Kong across all universities and across all majors. So we had 40-to-1 ratio just for JUPAS Band A applicants, 40 applicants for one position. We are adding more programs, and I think we're still on our way, on our journey to sort of pioneer these innovations for education. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's thank Professor Chin for the sharing. Thank you. Please be seated. Well, embracing innovation and technology and incorporating them to education will be the way forward. Next, let's welcome on stage Professor Max Shen, Vice President and Pro-Vice Chancellor for Research, the University of Hong Kong. Please welcome.
Good afternoon. Hopefully, still awake. I enjoyed so many talks, and I want to thank Jingguan and Nancy for inviting me. But I also want to thank everybody who works for this great conference, especially the four beautiful ladies. I know when you are late, they'll be standing there rushing you to get off the stage. Hopefully, I will spend exactly 10 minutes so that they don't have to harass me. Okay, so also I'll try to make my talk a little bit different. I'm not promoting or advertising Hong Kong U. I think this is a great opportunity for us to get together and talk about what we can do jointly. So maybe a little bit Hong Kong U, but not too much, okay? So my whole point is that what we can do jointly in the GBA area to utilize research and our universities to make everybody better, right? So you probably know this, that Paul Romer, Nobel laureate in economics, actually have this theory many, many years ago. I think now actually in mainland, I think we are recognizing the importance of this again. Basically, the main message here is that creativity and knowledge are the main drives for self-improvement and economic growth. This is what they call 心智生产力, right? So basically, you have to recognize the importance of knowledge, creativity, research to make the whole economy grow bigger. Okay, so this is a little bit too much info, but if you look at this, I'm not sure this will work. I don't, no, it's not working, so I have to stay here. Here, roughly, you can see that this is what we do. The top part is science and research. This is what we do in any university, right? So we develop a new series and new technology, and then utilize our scientific infrastructure and ideas to lead to startups and innovation. So if you move from the discovery down to the blue side, you will have emerging industry, a lot of startups, and these will feed back to the red part, original science and research. So this is the innovation ecosystem. And we all know that many other areas are doing this really well. For example, the San Francisco Bay Area. So I normally compare the Bay Areas, the Tokyo Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, and New York Bay Area, and then us. And actually I find out that even though we promote so much, but I think we are still lagging behind. Let's face the fact. So if you look at the diagram I have, very importantly, we need to have infrastructure. Are we getting those? Not yet. In our Bay Area, we ranked the last in terms of the major scientific and technological infrastructures. We only have 8, but you can see San Francisco with Stanford and Berkeley and other areas, other universities, they have 34 major infrastructures, right? So I think here we are lagging, and this might lead to less scientific discoveries. There's a really interesting figure there that after 1970, more than 40% of the Nobel Prize in physics actually come from scientific discovery for major scientific infrastructures. So this is something I think we are lacking. Secondly, if you look at the top scientists, we actually are very proud. We have so many really leading scientists here. But if you look at the average, right? If you look at the proportion of the scientists in the general population, again, we are not even on the map. And then if you look at publication, again, we are many of great universities ranked in top 100. But again, if you look at this, look at the proportional number, we are again not on the list. Okay, so I think even though we are improving really fast, but we are still lagging. And this, I also want to mention this because I think Shenzhen is now the #1 or #2 city in terms of the number of patents. But if you look at, again, the divided by the population, we are not in the top 5. Okay? And then even if you look at closely, among all the patents, we have many patents, but not every patent counts the same. And then there are some patents in the areas of physics and electricity actually create more value, but we are again lagging behind San Francisco Bay Area. So even though we are doing great in terms of the total number of patents, but we are still lagging behind in some major categories. And then, we have so many great startups, unicorns, but once again, if you look at the total number, we are, I think, number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5, and we are the lowest among all the major Bay Areas. Okay, and then, other things, if you look at the value and revenue from high-tech company, again, we are not even the top 3. Okay, so what's going on? I mean, we thought we are really doing great. We have top universities, we have a lot of patents, we have a lot of unicorns. But if you look at this from the global landscape, we still have a lot of work to do. So how do we catch up? Well, very nicely, as we already mentioned, we have great universities here. Not only that, we have many research institutions in the Bay Area too. So if you look at the number, we are number 2, just behind New York. So with all these universities and talents here, I'm pretty confident that we can catch up. But we need to work closely together to make this happen. So just give you an example why I mentioned the universities. Because universities should be the center for innovation and the economic growth. If you look at San Francisco Bay Area, which I'm really familiar, there are a lot of important characteristics that make the San Francisco Bay Area leading in many of the major scientific discoveries and economic development. I don't have time to go into all of this, But I also want to mention that if you look at the university in the San Francisco Bay Area, you have Berkeley, Stanford, Davis, and many other universities, right? If you look at this map, actually you can find out that they are at the core center of every activity related to research, innovation, and economic growth. I don't have time to go into the details, but if you look at the major companies, they all have connection with this top university. And they are feeding back, which make Stanford, surpassing every university on the list, starting after the Silicon Valley. So I think we again, in the Great Bay Area, especially in Hong Kong, we have, many good universities. Can we do something jointly to make something like this happen? Right? Instead of we each cry for help, can we work together? Can we work as a team to make some of the things we are lacking happening? Okay? So this is all I'm trying to promote, is that we should form some forum or consortium or core university forum to make a driving force in this new economy. Okay, so let me just give you another number. Okay, so this is probably common knowledge, and I just get a sign. I only have 4 minutes. So I'll go very quickly go through this. Why universities are so important? First, we are the antennas, right? We are connecting international talents. We know what's happening. Joe just talked about all this ChatGPT and all this. We know this first-handed, right? And then, we can produce all these talents. We know what's going on in the world, and then we can train our students. Many of you already talk about the training of new talents, right? And then we also, have close connection with the industry. I think this is something happening in Hong Kong. With RIS Plus, we can actually working closely with the industry, but also pushing our professors to the front. And also, many of you are already doing better than Hong Kong U, is that we are the hotbed for startups. We can actually produce so many very promising startups. So with this, I just want to show you that, Berkeley, where I spent more than 24 years there, is a very good example of a public university creating so much for the whole economy. I don't have time to go through the details, but I think every dollar you spend on a university, they will return $7 back to the economy. So I have only 2 minutes. And this is, again, a really nice research result I want to share with you, is that I already mentioned that for Berkeley, you put in $1, they return $7. But on average, normally, the more money you spend on a university, the more we will return to the whole economy. So officials, if you are thinking about giving more money to the universities, that's the right direction to go. I said I won't talk about Hong Kong U, so I'll skip this. We have the Dream On event. Actually, we are catching up to you guys. I know you guys are doing so well. Also, we are building more infrastructures, but this is only for Hong Kong U. Maybe there should be some joint infrastructure for all universities in the Bay Area, right? So we also try to go into this entrepreneur community by inviting a lot of top people to educate our students. I will skip this because this is the same for everybody. My final slide is this, is that I think collectively for the university in the GBA, I think we should try to lobby for more government R&D spending so that we can have more infrastructures and maybe we can train more Nobel Prize winners in pure science. Secondly, with the research findings, we should have a collaborative platform so that not only we share knowledge among ourselves, but we can also share with the world, with Asia, so that improve the image of Hong Kong and eventually benefit the whole community in Hong Kong. So with that, I will stop here because a few beautiful ladies are already here. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Shen. Thank you for the presentation. Indeed, we look forward to more collaborations and partnerships in nurturing future talents and also to further contribute to our community and to the wider, world and also our humanities. Thank you so much once again. Next, let's welcome on stage Professor Yonghua Song, Rector, University of Macau, to speak to us. Please welcome Professor Song.
Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank Nancy and Jing Guang for inviting me to attend this exciting forum and summit, and it is a great honor to be here. I'm from Macau. Macau is another one country, two system place, similar to Hong Kong, but much smaller, 1/10 of the population, so microeconomy, but we are doing well, and with over $100 billion US reserve there, and the economy get back on track very quickly, and hopefully this year or next year, the government will be able to not just balance book and start have additional reserve as well, because the University of Macau is the only public research university in Macau. So that's why we get so much worried about the government income. And the university is young as well, but we got a very beautiful campus here. So what I'm going to talk about within my 10 minutes, and we're talking quite a lot about the, going back. Okay. And about the challenges, and some worry us too much. We have to wake up during midnight to handle it. Some we worry, but we forget about it. We move on. But as university leaders, and of course we perform our functions of the leaders, but also we have to, most importantly, have the spirit of serve, basically to boost the motivations and mastery among professors and students to bring positive impact on the entire institutional communities. So here I use a word serve model, and for the University of Macau, basically to further boost the development of education and research innovation. And the model is what I call is basically acronym start with strategy, and a well-defined strategy provides a clear vision and goals for university education and research, particularly for a young university in an uncertain, dynamic environment. And strategy is more important than at other time. And the second, of course, engagement. With defined strategies, allow the faculty and students to engage with the development goals of the university. So they have to be the owner of everything we do. And of course, we need resources, crucial in providing this support for education and research innovation. Value the talented individuals is the core, and we are people's business, so people, we're the student faculty. And of course, at the end of the day, is the ecosystem. The environment is what we can get all those research and education boost. So at the University of Macau, and I joined the university in 2018, and at that time we have less than 10,000 students, and we are like we have a new campus, but in terms of ranking, we are 600 or 700. But now, of course, last year we, for the first time, reached top 200 in Times Higher and in QS, and both are top 20 in Greater China. And so I saw the strategy is the start point for a new rector or president. So here we have overall development strategy, education strategy, research strategy, global strategy, people strategy. So for the overall strategy, because for us, young university, small university, microeconomy, I think we have to position us very carefully. That is what actually is relevance, what we do with education research. So as the university for Macau, offer Macau, for Macau, so we have to root it in Macau, but we are part of the Greater Bay Area, and we need to integrate into the country and going global. And of course, how we judge everything we do, we have to look at the academic impact as a university, and also the society impact. Those impact, of course, need to be significant. We all want to be university of excellence globally. So the first thing is that we produce a 5-year plan, and we have, of course, a state education strategy. Basically, is a 1-in-4 model, because University of Macau adopt fully residential college system, have 10 residential college system. We still keep 1-to-1 bed for our undergraduate students. And we grow only by postgraduate and PhD. We didn't grow any undergraduate because the pupils numbers in Macau gone down actually each year. And we have a research strategy, for example, PICK I call, and P is problem orientation and interdisciplinary interactions, cooperative innovation, and knowledge translation. We are small, so we have to focus on some strategic areas with 3 dedicated labs and 3 research emerging area, and also we'll talk about interdisciplinary is very important. So this 5-year plan and is the first thing we get fully engaged by our faculty and students. And we'll not just have a 5-year plan for the university, we have a 5-year plan for each faculty and institute. And so we're going many round of from the bottom up and top down, and also talk to the government, to the university council and the community. And I hold town hall meeting and for all staff several times, and we have a university affairs college committee, and it goes through in details. In December 2021, I hold a press conference to release our 5-year plan and to the community. And this is just an example how we engage our faculty members. They own the 5-year plan. So the 5-year plan is actually and to reach 17,000 students from 10,000 students by only increase postgraduate and PhDs and research. So we are on the way, as a word I told you. So we need resources. And the first thing, of course, like Hong Kong and Macau, space is the most important thing we need. So luckily, University of Macau, with the approval of the National People's Congress and with the support of central government, and we managed to get a piece of land there, 1 square kilometers, and which is actually 1/3 of the Macau itself, and built the government invested about $10 billion US dollars to build a modern campus for us. And of course, in 2019, and the government announced the Greater Bay Area initiative, and we quickly established an institute in Zhuhai next to us. And now we reach a new stage, because although we have a very nice campus here, but 70% of the students and the faculty are in humanities and social science, and only 30% are in science, life science, and engineering. And as a research university, and also make more contributions to Greater Bay Area and China beyond, and we need more space. So luckily, we got another piece of land 2 miles away from us, and Hengqin is about half of the size of our new campus. And now we are very busy with the planning of this new campus. One is, of course, construction of the campus. Secondly, the more important is academic planning. And very luckily, and the central government released documents last December, and for Hengqin, and we're not going to have the joint campus like Hong Kong UST in Nansha and Chinese U in Shenzhen. This is our extension of the university is our campus. We have 4 faculty that is the same as this campus. So that is a very novel policy, a creative policy, innovative policy by the central government gave to us. So we will, and there we're going to have 4 faculties, I said, only concentrate on science, engineering, life science, and technology transfer. And we have a faculty of medical school. We don't have a medical school here. We have research in our current campus. We have a faculty of design and creative design, AI for arts, and city design, and industry design. And we have a faculty of information science and computing, which cover artificial intelligence, data science, and robotics, and intelligent manufacturing, and so on and so forth. And then we have a faculty of engineering, which include new energy, new materials, environment, and biomedical engineering. And so that, of course, we need resources. Around out of time, of course, we have to secure funds from different channel. Although Macau is rich, but the government asked us to go out for ourselves, so we go, and say, of course, the more important is the people. So the first thing, of course, for us to retain the people, because when I joined the university in 2018, 2 of our guys approached to be vice president of 2 universities in Greater Bay Area, 2 approached to be deans, 2 deans. So first thing I said, we have to keep people, and second is to recruit people. So I'm not going into detail, I run out of time. And last is the environment is very important. We need to have an open and inclusive campus culture. And the features of Macau, actually 4 spoken language are commonly used on campus. English is our work language, and Chinese, Cantonese, and Mandarin, and Portuguese are our official language. So first, of course, we integrate with mainland China, working with what we call CNI, and 3 universities in Hong Kong, and Greater Bay Area, and then, of course, we go global. And with the university, we have 300 institutions work together, and we have a joint degree with universities. So with that, I thank the organizer again, and I know that Nelly is calling me, and welcome to visit us beautiful campus. This is during the night. So thank you again.
Thank you so much, Professor Song from University of Macau. Thank you so much. We definitely want to hear more from you later on at the panel discussion session. Next, let's welcome on stage Professor Jingguang Teng, Council Vice Chair, the Greater Bay Area Association of Academicians and President of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Please welcome Professor Teng.
Okay, well, colleagues, good afternoon. Thank you for staying here until now so that I have a chance to say something to you. The presentation I'm going to do is mainly within the context of what we have been doing at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, so I cannot avoid showing you some of PolyU. But we are from a university, Professor Song said his campus, he needed more space. We have a campus which is only 1/10 of the University of Macau campus in Macau, or in Hengqin. So you can see how we can manage. This is the only thing we will be ranked the #1 in the world, I think. Okay, so the topic, I actually made up the topic in Chinese first, and then I realized I had to provide a topic in English, which is a little bit of Chinglish, I think. Okay, so now, before my talk, three presidents have talked on the issue of AI in education. So this was Professor Tang from NUS, and then we had Professor Gong Qihuan from Beijing University, Professor Zhou Qing of Lingnan University. They have all talked about it. I was doing my slides last night, so I was expecting they would have talked about all these nice things. So I'm going to be very specific as an engineer on what we think we should be doing at PolyU. But I have to show you this because we want to differentiate ourselves to be a university which is very keen on making more direct contributions to the society, because PolyU's history dated from the thing called the Government Trade School in Hong Kong. It was set up to support the industry of Hong Kong. So we still have that genetic feature in our disciplines particularly. So if I show you my discipline, you will see that we have strong presence in engineering in 2 faculties. We have construction environment, which is for the construction industry. Then we have engineering, which is for the manufacturing industry. In Hong Kong, even until today, the highest score, entry score for engineering programs at the PolyU, apart from biomedical engineering, is still civil engineering and surveying kind of programs. Maybe as time goes on, as we have more manufacturing, this situation will change. We also have unique disciplines, things like design, fashion, textiles, hotel and tourism management. Under health sciences, we have physiotherapy, occupational therapy, optometry, medical laboratory sciences. All these are what we call unique disciplines among the 8 public universities, because when we were asked to do this, the newer universities were not there yet. So this gives us some very unique features. And therefore, this is our positioning of the university. We want to be an innovative university in the sense that I will explain later. Of course, everybody wants to be innovative, so how innovative you are, it depends on how you position yourself. Because of our tradition in engineering and technology, we want to have a strong presence in engineering and technology area disciplines. Of course, we have many of our sister institutions very keen on engineering and technology also. We want to be world leading in the unique disciplines, and I think we are already there in many of these disciplines. So by innovation, we want our graduates to be leaders of innovation, but this is maybe also the case with some other universities. We want our research to benefit society more directly. This is our mission, so we often jokingly say that if you want to study the origin of the universe or the meaning of life, you have to go to Hong Kong U to study. And one time I was speaking to Rocky, he said you can also go to Chinese U because they have a department of philosophy or the department of theology. We don't have things like that. So we want our innovation spirit to be embedded in all aspects of our work. Now let's talk about things to do with AI. So what does AI mean to us? And all the things have been talked about. So I don't really have to go through this. We all know that if AI comes, certain jobs will disappear. Some new jobs will appear. But there's nothing to panic because this has happened many times in the history. When the steam engines were invented, hard labor was replaced. When we had computers, like in my profession, we used to have a lot of people doing drawings, Nobody is doing it now because it's all done by computers. So when you have a new technology, of course, things will change. But of course, that means that we have to retrain our students in a way which will, suit the future needs of the society. They don't have to remember so many things. Somebody will say that because of this AI, because the Chinese, tradition of education is spoon-feeding a lot. This includes university in Hong Kong to some extent. But this tradition, maybe it's a good opportunity for us now because now we can see the spoon-feeding process is maybe very obviously not useful. So I guess we hope this is an opportunity for us. Now we can talk about lots of attributes that students should have now in the AI age. But in my own view, the most important ability is always the self-learning ability and the desire to learn as a lifelong learner. In fact, in my university, I don't know about yours, maybe the same, we have a lot of exam papers in the library. But this is maybe not a good thing because students go to the library to do the example problems that were set last time. So self-learning, I think, is the main thing. In my view, if you graduate from a university with a bachelor degree, you should possess the ability to self-learn. If you are able to do that, then you are a properly qualified graduate. The other stuff, I think, I'll not talk about. So in terms of the pedagogy, I think basically a few years ago, 2 years ago, we were discussing in Hong Kong, newspapers say things like, can you allow people to use AI in your study or in assignment? We at PolyU, from the very beginning, of course, UST was the first to be very progressive. We have been since then after UST. We have always said we embrace AI. There's nothing to prevent. There's no reason to prevent us from allowing students using AI, because AI is going to be used in workplaces. They must use it also in their studies. And then I think, people have talked about flipped learning. Before the pandemic, flipped learning was experimented, but it was never easy. After the pandemic, online learning has become so much more accepted. AI-based, personalized tutoring system is now much more powerful. I think this flipped learning is really a thing we must, do a lot more in the future. And also, reality, we don't need to get students to read so much books maybe now, but if they can have more exposure to reality and sometimes to virtual reality, we have this kind of capability, to allow them to do it. So in terms of the educational offerings, we should make AI mandatory study subject for students from primary school to university. We have, of course, to sunset programs and offer new programs. In fact, for example, at PolyU, we were the first to offer a Master of Science in Blockchain Technology in Asia, the first to offer a Master of Science in Metaverse Technology in the whole world. So you can try to innovate with your programs. Now, AI, everybody should learn some AI. So actually before ChatGPT became popular, in 2020, we already at the PolyU made the decision that Professor Alex Y was part of the team. We made the decision that we will make AI compulsory. And this was done from the 2022 cohort, before ChatGPT became popular. So since then, we already have a compulsory subject for AI. This is, based on my understanding, the world first university to have done this. UST has a good idea of this X+, and we had something similar but more extensive. So this is called X+, ADA. We made AI a secondary major, which is 36 credits. 36 credits is bigger than a master program in Hong Kong. So 26 of our programs, students are allowed to take AI as their secondary major, 36 credits. By doing this, we are turning out a lot of people who are knowledgeable in their first major, like design, language studies, engineering, together with a secondary major in AI. Because in the future, a lot of people will use AI more or less as a black box, like what we do with software. But they have to have a bit of understanding of AI so they know how to gather, process, analyze data before AI can be used properly. So to me, this is a good way going forward for AI. We have a similar system with innovation and entrepreneurship. We are going to, because of the, we are in a lack of space. We don't have space. So the area that we can move forward much more easily is AI instead of biology. So we are setting up a new faculty. We will do it maybe in July and moving our applied mathematics, computer science into a new faculty. This will be the faculty of, the name is being debated because the two departments have to argue how they are going to name the faculty. But we are going to have a new faculty. Eventually, we may have 4 or 5 departments. So this will be the growth area of PolyU in the next 3 or 5 years. And we want to experiment quite heavily with flipped learning. And for that reason, we have established an Institute for Higher Education, Research and Innovation. This is called iHeard. Our director was hired back from the US. He was here in the morning, and he was the leading expert in intelligent tutoring systems. So coupled with AIs, we'll be able to do a lot of personalized AI tutoring for flipped learning. Finally, I want to say just a few words on this thing called, Hong Kong as an international education hub. Because of the time, I only want to highlight one thing. I think for Hong Kong to attract more students from Belt and Road countries or foreign countries, the key is financial support. Because developed countries, they have an affordable system of higher education. It's unlikely for them to come to Hong Kong and pay a high tuition fee. Developing countries, students don't have money. So the solution is to build a loan system where the students from a developing country can take out a loan, study in Hong Kong, find a job, and repay the loan. Hong Kong nowadays have a lot of jobs. If they come here to do a master degree program, the cost is only 300,000. They can pay off in a few years' time. So I've proposed this to the government, and we have discussed it among the university presidents, and I want to share this suggestion with you. So if you find it feasible, you can also air your support when you have the chances. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much to Professor Tang for the sharing and for your suggestion for us to take reference from. Thank you so much. You may now return to the comfort of your seats, and we are going to invite the next speaker. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming on stage Professor Rocky S. Tuan, Vice Chancellor and President of the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Please welcome.
Well, first of all, a very good afternoon, and again, thanks to JG and Nancy for putting this very exciting and stimulating program together. I have actually learned a lot. It was like going to class. I couldn't come in the morning, but I crashed the afternoon classes, and I thought it was really, really educational. Better than some of the meetings I have at the university. Just between you and me. Okay. So what I have been tasked to do is to talk about university as an engine of research innovation. Now, I am going to be, like Max, not going to say too much about CUHK except as examples of certain things I want to tell you. I'm going to take a more 30,000 feet high philosophical or conceptual point of view to really talk about what the heck is the role of a university in innovation. Right? Why do we need a university to be innovative? All right? So I'm going to start with that. Now, let's first of all define innovation. Now, you hear people talk about all kinds of things, but I am taking it from an official source. This is the U.S. National Academy of Engineering, right? Definition of innovation. There are 4 characteristics you need to pay attention to. Number 1 is that innovation is a product, a process, or service. Secondly, innovation is an improvement, not just new. It's not invention. Invention is not the same as innovation. The scale can be incremental or transformational. Innovation has an impact on society, either now or in the future. And finally, innovation is a family affair. It is a team activity. Those are the 4 major characteristics of innovation, right? You must have that to be innovative. All right, so this diagram, which has a moving part, it kind of illustrates how you go from basic research all the way to something that has social impact. Now, there's a big turning wheel in the middle. You got translational research, industry partnership, fundraising, intellectual property, business strategy, etc. The next step would be product development, and then manufacturing and marketing, and then something that has societal impact. So this is usually how we refer to, oh, wow, you got innovative product, so on and so forth. All right, Or you can say from papers to products. Now, in order for a university, the role of a university to cultivate talent, stimulate innovation, etc., builds on 4 things. You need to foster and culture entrepreneurship. You need to promote diversity and inclusion. You need to encourage collaboration with private sectors, and then you need to explore the societal benefits of technology. Now, I'm going to go back quite a few thousand years to something that was spelled out in 大学, one of the 4 great books. How do you succeed? I'm going to skip the first 4, which has Hong Kong U's logo in it, so I'm going to skip that. Hey, I got to stick to not advertising for other universities. 修身齐家治国平天下. That's how you make a difference in the world. In English, cultivate self, harmonize your family, govern state, which is not really a good translation. I couldn't figure out how to do a good translation. And then finally, bring goodness to the world. And I truly believe that is the exact same path that we must take to get to innovation. All right, I'm going to give you some examples and build on these 4 things later. Let's talk about culturing and fostering entrepreneurship. I said that's 修身. That means you have to enrich yourself. As JG said, you need to be a self-learner. Right? 修身 is exactly that. It's self-learning plus many other things. So what we do at CUHK is that we have various things, such as a co-op program, which is a work-study program that allows a student to spend about 8 months out of their 4 years working in a company, full-time, full pay, so that they can find out what in the world they're going to do when they leave the university. Other things such as the entrepreneurship and innovation minor, some various things in BSc in biotechnology, entrepreneurship, and healthcare, management, 2+2 undergrad, degree program, etc. And then from learning or spoon feeding, if you want to use JG's terminology, they're learning and then they need to compete. Now, competition is not a nasty thing. Everybody knows if you're in a race, such as in the Olympics, whoever's the fastest still will run faster in a race rather than by himself or herself. So competitions are very good. There are a couple of competitions I listed here, but it allows a student to really gather his or her energy towards a particular goal. And finally, of course, you have to create an ecosystem that has good public lectures, seminars, and so on and so forth, to give the student and as well as the faculty members a chance to grow. All right, the next one, promoting diversity and inclusion. What does that mean? Well, I just drew a diagram. I used the same programs and courses as sort of a centerpiece. We need to do 4 types of diversity and inclusion activities. Number 1, academia industry. I think you've already heard many discussions how to do that, so I'm going to skip the description. Interdisciplinary. Now, what the heck is interdisciplinary? I think you've heard of multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, etc., cross-disciplinary. So one of my friends once described to me the difference between multidisciplinary and transdisciplinary, etc. He said, multidisciplinary is when you call up somebody and say, hey, do you know how to do that? The next step is that you actually send some package by FedEx. And that goes to the next level of interdisciplinarity. And finally, the true transdisciplinary action is that you actually go to the guy's lab and office and stay for a couple days or maybe even a month to do your experiment. So that's transdisciplinary and the highest level of interdisciplinary. Intergenerational, very important. You talk about generation, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, whatever, millennials, and et cetera. Actually, I don't think there's a Gen Y. Gen Z and millennial and whatnot. And then you have geezers like me, right? So the idea is that you must, if you are going to be innovative, you need to be trans and intergenerational. Finally, intercultural, very important. And again, many speakers have already alluded to that. The third thing, encouraging collaboration with private sector. So we have done a bunch of things, and these are just some general concept. Talent cultivation, I already talked to you about. At the end of the day, innovation depends on three things. People, people, people. If you don't have the right people, the talented people, you're never going to be innovative. And then finally, innovation enrichment, as I mentioned already, knowledge transfer, innovation development. The government has been very supportive of that. Joint lab facility. We have just opened our good manufacturing practice, advanced therapeutic product center, for example, the Inno-Hong Kong centers. And then investment. We just put together 2 years ago our investment company to help us along. So finally, exploring societal benefits of technology. To me, this is actually the most important thing. This is the meaning of innovation. At the end of the day, what good can we do for society? All right, I'll give you some example. Because of time, I'm just going to stick with this one thing. Now, in 2015, the United Nations, through hard work and lots of politicking, came up with the Sustainable Development Goals. There are 17 of them. I listed them here. Most of you already know who they are. My time is coming up. So the 17 goals are here. Now, one time somebody asked me, I won't name who it is and where she is from. It's a she, actually. The question was, how can you become an internationally prestigious university? Well, I said the prestigious university is the easy part because you just do great work, publish great papers, get, FWCI and whatever, and you will be a prestigious university. But if you want to be internationally prestigious, you need to do things that are globally recognized as important, as relevant. Well, these 17 things are, and they remain that way. And the goal is to accomplish all of these by 2030. So wish all of us luck, but we need these goals accomplished. So what we have done is in 2018, we have become the host of the UN Sustainable Development Solution Network Hong Kong chapter, one of 50 in the world. The SDSN Hong Kong has done tremendous work for us, and I've been watching it grow and very happy with that. So just give you some examples. Almost 11 years ago, we opened the Museum of Climate Change, the only one in the world, located in a university, right? And we now have more than 1.5 million visitors already. We are helping school children, et cetera, learn about the importance of climate change. We have a coral restoration project, SDG 14. We have developed the AI curriculum for secondary schools in Hong Kong, quality education. And then finally, we have the mangrove forest project, Life on Land, SDG 15. So these are just some examples. So I urge all of you to use the 17 SDGs as a menu to pick from. If you do something in any of these things, I think you will become an internationally reputed and also innovative university. Well, actually, one of them is really, really hard. Peace, which is number 16, which mankind really sorely lack right now. All right, so let me just finish up by saying we train talent in many different areas. We get them engaged with the community, and that's how you get from 0 to 1 in terms of innovation. So back to this Confucian maxim from 大学, 修身齐家治国平天下. Well, I'm actually a biologist or life scientist at heart. I work with cells. How do cells deal with the rest of the world? just like how do we deal with the rest of the world. Cells do two things. You can group them into two things. One is inside out, and the other one is outside in. 修身齐家 is really inside out. We get ourselves and we get our community together such that we can deal with things outside, we can impact the world inside out. The other one is outside in. You collaborate with industry. You look at what society needs, and that's how you get the signal to improve yourself. And this, of course, is a cycle. It doesn't stop. Inside out becomes outside, outside in becomes inside, and so on and so forth, and the cycle repeats. The longer it repeats, the more actively it repeats, the better the world will be. So that's how universities can contribute to the word innovation. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Tuan, for the very inspiring presentation, really, and good correlation between universities and the Confucian maxim 大学. Very interesting indeed. Thank you so much. Next, please welcome on stage Professor Alex Wai, President and Vice Chancellor of the Hong Kong Baptist University. Please welcome Professor Wai.
Like the nice speakers in front of me, I would like to thank JG and Nancy for inviting me to this summit. And I particularly like to thank them for arranging the speakers in alphabetical order. So I got to speak last. Now with 9 distinguished speakers in front of me who speak on the same topic, all that worthwhile to be said have been said. So basically I can say what I want to say. And now that I am between you and tea break, I know I better be quick. But then I think this advantage, being the last speaker, is because then just like you watch diving competition, you always remember the last act when the diver go into the water. So I hope what I'm going to say, will give you some food for thought, okay, during your tea break. Early this afternoon, someone reminded me last year when I speak at the same occasion, I cheat by using ChatGPT to do some of my slides. And I'm not sure I'm the first probably in the world, but probably among my distinguished colleagues, the president in Hong Kong, I'm probably the first one in a public presentation, I use ChatGPT. But don't worry, this year, I would not ask AI for help. This is a bit Chinglish, as Jay said, way to put it. Major global changes unseen in a century. The Chinese part, I'm sure you've heard it many, many times, okay? I was fascinated by this statement. So I look up clearly, well, I just list a few, okay, come to my mind. Climate change, geopolitics, emerging technology, not just AI, quantum computing, all things, hydrogen technology is coming up. And last one, of course, our country, the realm of China. Now, for us in education and research, I suppose we should address how these big changes will affect us. First one, climate change. Now, we are, this is a cliche, everybody should know that, but how bad it is when global warming first come out, later on changed to climate change. They are talking about, by Carl Sagan, okay, nuclear winter. It could be, 1,000 years away. But if you really follow the climate change debate, something called the Atlantic Meridional overturning circulation, if that's disrupted, we could see ice age within a century. So global climate change is real, and then a change of fraction of temperature, shift the insect vector, whatever, no, I'm not expert on this one, okay, and can cause a lot of problem from pandemic to food shortage and so on. I'd thank Rocky for introducing the 17 SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, by UN. So for education institutions like us, okay, and our research,
clearly we should go for, okay, integrated in all that we are doing, okay, on the integrate sustainability into every aspect of our education research, aligning our research and academic activities with all the 17 sustainable goals. Of course, peace is important, and carry out student and research project on climate solution, which to me, I don't want to be melodramatic, could be a species-ending event. Well, the next one, geopolitics. Well, there's two wars going on, one in between Russia and Ukraine, and one is in between Israel and the Hamas, okay? If there's any humanitarian crisis going on, I think what happened in Gaza is one that we're looking at. And if you follow a couple of days ago, the president of Poland talked about, in his view, now Europe had gone back to the pre-World War I era, okay, the state like before the World War I, and then it's the closest to war, European war again at that time, okay. So the world is not getting any more peaceful. If you want to worry about our backyard, what happened between China and also Philippines can easily bring to small-scale skirmish. So for us, well, we can't do anything about what's the war going on, but I hope we can educate our next generation to understand, okay, other culture, to avoid the small print up there, the clash of civilization, a concept reminded to us by Samuel Huntington in his article in Foreign Affairs and later on the book on the clash of civilizations. So I think in education, we really should encourage diverse viewpoint to address complex challenges. We need to be multicultural and have our student, next generation, have cultural intelligence to understand diverse perspective to navigate geopolitical problems. And transdisciplinary approaches, bringing insight from political science, economics, and technology. And also, we need network and partners among cross-border collaborations such as the Belt and Road countries. Now the next one, back to technology. And as I said, it's not just AI, but let's just take AI as an example. It changed every aspect of our life. Everybody have talked about that. And so how we prepare our students for that future is very important. And yes, there will be a transition, okay? Typically, when a new technology come out, whether it's industrial revolution, whether it's about the computers, about, IT, now it's AI, well, we don't know about AI yet. There's a lot of doomsday state about AI. But before that, the world actually got more prosperous, our life getting better, but busier, of course. But then the people had to go through that, need to learn, okay, a lot of new things, okay, to deal with social progress, to drive innovations, and how we advance education to ensure our students are equipped with the right knowledge and skill set and mindset and perseverance to be successful in this new changing world is what we need to do. And in research, of course, we need breakthrough that leading to science, technology, medicine, and many other fields. Now, we in BTU like to use the word transdisciplinary, and the word trans here, we take into the idea about transformation, because actually no discipline stay unchanged. It changes with time. So in our education, our research, we focus on transdisciplinary. And very important, okay, I'm very surprised that it's not being emphasized more here, is that we need humanities to guide the development of new technology, particularly AI. I don't think I need to explain the need for that. The last, the one before that I point out, is about our own country. Our country had gone through remarkable growth, okay, very rapid economic and technological growth. Since 2018, our GDP had exceeded RMB 100 trillion. And between 2010 and 2022, the last year we have figures, China had the world's second largest GDP. The technological advancement, some of the achievement, example in lunar exploration, going to Mars, quantum computing, deep sea exploration, we have done quite well. But new term,
I don't really know how to translate that well, okay? I look it up. The best I can come up with is new productive forces. That new term require us, okay, the new form of productions, okay? Need educational reform, need research innovation, need attractional talents. Jay-Z talked about imply about the problem of our education. We are a system that emphasizes a lot on examinations and leading to spoon-feeding of our students. Can we really be creative? That question actually been asked on and off, among our thinkers and our academics. And can we really train critical thinkers? I find out the pressure of publishing, the pressure of going out, getting a degree, have pushed many of the research students I've met, into doing rather superficial work. And I hope we, as a community, can turn the tide. And for research, we need cross-sector. This point has been made many times between university, industry, and government working body. Once again, transdisciplinary approach, blending technology. I have 2 minutes, I know, thank you. Humanities and policies, okay? Talents, everybody have made that point, okay, and so I don't want to repeat here. So after mentioning that we practice what we believe, so I will quickly in the next 2 minutes tell you what we have been trying to do in the last few years. We launched 4 new programs in 2022, the triennium. We had the Art Tech, Global Entertainment, and Innovation in Health and Social Well-being, following the direction of the Hong Kong government. But we also introduced an individualized major. Basically, the format is like a research student, but doing it in undergrad. Student come in with a problem that you want to solve world hunger, solve freshwater problem, then we design a pathway for them. And I can see something similar going on in other universities that talk about. We have 4 focus areas, okay, that developed in our 10 years plan: creative media, drugs and health, and technology that developed in 2018. Last year, in our midterm review, we add humanities and culture, as I believe that is the most important aspect of all education. All right, what have you done with that? In ArtTech, we got, I think, the first and still the biggest, the ArtTech project about future cinema system from ITC, Innovation Technology Commissions. We also recently launched a Visualization Research Center. It's the world's largest 360-degree immersive LED visualization cinemas. In Chinese medicine, we recently, got the right to run the Hong Kong first Chinese medicine hospital for 15 years. And then, we are allowed to bid again for doing that after 15 years. And we also get the very first Hong Kong botanical drugs approved by the US FDA for investigational new drug, IND. This is the 6th, I believe, the 6th botanical drugs in the whole of China, including Hong Kong, and also the first one from a university laboratory. And we also have an orphan drugs, okay, first Hong Kong botanical orphan drugs being designated by, again, US FDA. And on humanity and culture, our team actually, our historian study, the invasion of Hong Kong by the Japanese during the Sino-Japanese War, and how the battle start and end at the Black Christmas. And with that, we make it into an interactive map, trying to, engage our young people to learn what happened in our history. And a couple of weeks ago, we organized an intellectual symposium on humanities, societies, and digital future to explore the impact of artificial intelligence on the aspect about education, about ethics, about economies and society on us. Okay, and the total viewership for the 2-day symposium is 1.7 million. And I think my time is up. Thank you for giving the time to share with you.
Thank you so much, Professor Wai. Thank you. Please be seated. Well, once again, let's put our hands together to thank all the esteemed speakers for their sharing just now, please. Thank you once again. Really informative and a lot of insight for sharing that. Well, we'll take a 10 minutes break right now. Feel free to stretch your legs and network. We'll come back in 10 minutes for the remainder of the summit. Thank you.
Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include We unite leading scientists in the Greater Bay Area to drive scientific and technological innovation. We build international platforms to foster cross-disciplinary exchange and collaboration. We offer advisory support to the government's policymaking process. Together, we can contribute to our nation's technological advancement and shape a brighter future for humanity. Education is more than the acquisition of knowledge. It opens new horizons, unlocks opportunities, and inspires curiosity. It drives innovation and research for the betterment of humanity. The second Global Innovation and Technology Summit gathers university presidents and education leaders to explore crucial topics. Our esteemed guest speakers include
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you've got to relax for a little bit just now during the break. Now we're going to proceed to our much anticipated GBA University's President's Forum, Shaping the Greater Bay Area as an International Education Hub. Now we're going to invite, first of all, our moderator of the first session. He is Professor Jingguang Tang, Council Vice Chair of the Greater Bay Area Association of Academicians and President of the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Please welcome Professor Tang. Joining Professor Tang on the panel, we have Professor Mei Hong Chang, Vice President Academic at the Education University of Hong Kong. Please welcome. Next, may we invite Professor Nancy Yip, Council Chair, the Greater Bay Area Association of Academicians, President of the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Next, may we have Professor Lin Jin, Vice President, Global Strategies, Southern University of Science and Technology. Please welcome. Now, please also welcome on stage Professor Chen Sing Lee, Provost and Deputy President, the City University of Hong Kong. Professor S. Zhou Qin, President, Lingnan University. Professor Max Shen, Vice President and Pro-Vice Chancellor Research, the University of Hong Kong. Next, may we invite Professor Yonghua Song, Rector, University of Macau. Next, we would like to invite Professor Rocky S. Tuan, Vice Chancellor and President, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and Professor Alex Wai, President and Vice Chancellor, Hong Kong Baptist University. Please welcome. Now over to our moderator, Professor Tang, please.
Well, this works okay. ladies and gentlemen, we are back to this. I hope you enjoyed your coffee time. We have 9 people, or 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Plus me, 10. But I'm not going to answer any questions. We have an interesting system. We have only 5 questions. So each of you cannot even get 1 question for yourself. But we have 9 presidents to answer the question. So each president will be invited to answer only 2 questions. So you cannot ask a question unless I answer a question, unless I ask you to answer a question. Okay, so the main topic today is actually about developing Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area into what we call an international education center or international education hub. The first question is actually about branch campuses of Hong Kong institutions in the mainland. So we have Hong Kong UST, which is building a campus in Guangzhou, Nansha. Then we have CUHK, which has been operating a campus in Shenzhen for some years, or 10 years, just turned 10 years old. And then we have a Baptist University campus in Zhuhai. So the question for you is, what do you see as, or based on your experience, what are the major challenges and opportunities for you to have a campus in, a GBA city other than Hong Kong? And what roles can these campuses play in making the GBA an international education hub? So we are going to start from Nancy. You are closest to me. It's here written. Okay, your turn.
Okay, so the establishment of HKUST Guangzhou really was a milestone achievement in our view. It was the first Hong Kong mainland cooperative university established after the unveiling of the GBA development blueprint. So the campus opened in 2022, on September 1st, 2022. And we have this concept of unify HKUST 2 complementary campuses. We really believe that having HKUST Guangzhou provides a lot of opportunities for our campus in Clearwater Bay. There are, a lot of pros. Colleagues are really excited to see a campus that is double the size of Clearwater Bay, and it is not hilly; it is flat. So the availability of the land resource and also the availability of central research facilities that really add value to the existing central research facility on our Clearwater Bay campus. I mean, all these are really exciting opportunities. And we also believe that having a campus in Guangzhou provides our students with the opportunity to have more exposure, because then they can interact with the students on our Guangzhou campus. So for us, actually, since the opening of the Guangzhou campus, we had hands-on experience, how to make it work synergistically. And given that the Guangzhou campus is an independent legal entity, it's not really part of HKUST per se. It's not a branch campus. It is an independent legal entity. It has its own senior management team. So for us, the challenge is how to establish an effective governance framework for us to provide oversight. So I think that's the part we spend a lot of time on. And very often we go to seek advice from CUHK because, you had a lot of experience operating the campus in Shenzhen, and we really appreciate all the advice that we got, and that really helped us. It really helped us navigate, the the way forward on how to best operate our Guangzhou campus to maximize the gain, and also to ensure that our colleagues on both campuses will collaborate well, and our students will, gain this kind of opportunity to experience the education system in the mainland. Again, I would share that finding a way to effectively communicate is critical, because the campus is not in Hong Kong. It's actually 2 to 3 hours away from our Clearwater Bay campus. So, so we have been, really figuring out how to communicate the best, how to maximize the opportunities for our colleagues and our students. But the overall objective of setting up a campus in Guangzhou is to help nurture the students that would be ready to contribute to the future development of Greater Bay Area. So we want to make sure that the academic offerings in our Guangzhou campus would not duplicate those in Clearwater Bay. So that's what we believe in, So the two complementary campuses concept, I think, is critical, so that we don't do things redundantly. We have to make sure that the two campuses work well seamlessly. And of course, this takes time and it takes efforts, but I believe we are on track to achieve that.
Okay, thank you, Nancy. We now invite your advisor to share his views. You have a medical school here and another one in Shenzhen, so you're not, obviously, on surface at least, it's not complementary. It's actually similar.
Yeah, thanks, JG. So opportunities and challenges are actually two sides of the same coin, as you know. If you don't have opportunities, you will never have challenges. If you don't have challenges, you will never develop any opportunities to fruition. So let's get back to CUHK Shenzhen. I think put it very, maybe use a twist of terms here. CUHK Shenzhen is actually CUHK with Shenzhen characteristics. Probably that's the best way to describe it, or CUHK Shenzhen style. The second part is just as important as the first part. When Larry Lau, my predecessor, established CUHK Shenzhen, he basically had three ideas or three missions. Number one is to introduce the CUHK college system, collegiate style education, higher education model to the then Pearl River Delta. Second one is to help the Pearl River Delta develop new talents. And the third one is, of course, establish the reputation of CUHK in mainland. You notice something that's missing. Money is missing. There's no talk about money. In fact, we never got our initial investment back. We don't intend to get it back either. It is really a one-time thing that more than one time, but I mean, whatever contributions we make, we're not expecting any return, unlike, say, New York University, Shanghai, or Duke University, Kunshan, some of the other examples. So that's number one. If you are aiming at a higher ideal, I think you won't be disappointed easily, because the spectrum is much wider. That's number one. So therefore, there are opportunities, challenges. It is Shenzhen. Shenzhen is culturally very different from Hong Kong, Costco notwithstanding. It is a different city. The students we accept are all Gaokao, mainland students. We don't accept any Hong Kong residents, right? So therefore, the student population is also very different. Here, 80% of our students are local. So that presents Even though we have very similar curriculum, similar major, similar programs, the students are different. And I think all of you know that there's a different style of learning, which was started very early during childhood. So we have to be very aware that we cannot take whatever we think we do right here and just impose onto the mainland campus. So our logo is 两校一品牌, one brand, two campuses. Now, note it's like, one country, two system, all right? It's one brand, but we must realize it's 两校, okay? But as one country system also shows, it's not easy, right? But on the other hand, there are advantages. So what we need to do is always look on the sunny side of things. We ran into many, many challenges. I serve, of course, as the chairman of the governing board, so I see everything. And I have to tell you, there are many challenges. But I think the key thing is, it is a new experiment, it is the right experiment, and it's the way forward. So therefore, look at the sunny side of things.
Okay, so both presidents have sort of highlighted as a fact that the two sides are actually 两校. Yeah, to some extent, they are legally separate identities. Okay, Professor Alex Wai, you had a longer history even, I think, of having a campus in Zhuhai.
Thank you, Gigi. Indeed, we are. Baptist School have the very first university in, at the time it's not even called GBA. It's called Pearl River Delta in Zhuhai. It's actually the second, China and non-China university collaboration. Okay, well, in Chinese it's Jingwai. Okay, we are not considered part of China. Okay, mainland China. It was established in 2005, so 19 years from now. I learned from there that there's nothing called first mover advantage. You only have first mover disadvantage because the rules regulation for establishing this campus is not clear, and we don't get any subsidies. Actually, we got the land, we bought the land, and all those issues. Okay, it's quite a struggle in that 19 years. The campus are almost a carbon copy of what we are doing in Kowloon Tong. 80% of the courses are similar. So our slogan is one university, two campuses. Because you expect where you graduate from, either in Zhuhai or in Hong Kong, you got exactly the same certificate. So legally they're separate, but academically it's the same system. The student in Zhuhai, in the program, had to go through Kowloon Tong, otherwise it cannot be launched. The student who graduated there had to approved by our Senate, otherwise it would not be legit. So we work very hard for the two together, so that's a challenge part. We work very hard to try to bring students from both, because there's so much overlap in the classes. We have something called extended study program. The student can do a la carte, okay, if they pack enough credits, subjects that they can take in Zhuhai, then go up there, and vice versa. And so they can get a credit, get a grade, and come back and continue to study. That actually quite a good sell, so to speak, when you promote exchange. When we bring overseas students, exchange students to the campus in Zhuhai, the students are extremely happy because, well, you probably all know we got the smallest footprint as far as campus is concerned, okay? Our campus in Zhuhai is 10 times what we have here. And it haven't been all built yet. So there's a lot of opportunity about, doing things that we can do, not just because of geographic constraint. We don't have engineering because we are not allowed to have engineering in Hong Kong. But then we don't have that problem in Zhuhai. Well, there are other problems that Nancy and Rocky have mentioned about, okay? But I also see other opportunities. It's a different jurisdiction, different need, different opportunities, different funding agency. So I see that for BU quite a plus, despite all the first mover disadvantage that we have.
Okay, thank you, Alex, for your sharing. I think this topic deserves a lot more discussion, but in view of time, we have to move to the second question. The second question is actually in GBA, we do have a lot of universities, in Hong Kong, in Macau, in the mainland part of GBA. We are all trying to collaborate to some extent, and there's an alliance I'm aware of. So do you have any suggestions for us to do better collaboration among the universities in the GBA so that we can further enhance the quality, impact, and the reputation of the GBA as an international center, for education? So this is the question. Now, the universities I'm going to ask you to answer the question is, first of all, University of Macau. So Professor Song, you can say something on this.
As the GBA per se, that there are 3 jurisdictions and 1 country, 2 systems, and Hong Kong and Macau are very international, and the mainland part of GBA are space, industry, finance, and so forth. And those 3 presidents will talk about, of course, our campuses there. And actually, we, for the past 5 years since GBA launched, and I think we have been working actively, form alliances and joint laboratories and so on and so forth. And of course, people movement during COVID is not easy, but afterwards, and it's pretty good. But the thing is that we want to build GBA as an international education hub together. And those cards, I think those sort of alliance and joint laboratory and exchange and so on, so forth, are not good enough to answer this call for international education hub. Because for international hub, education hub in particular, and first of all is attract international students. And here, of course, in Macau and Hong Kong, we count students outside of the locals, non-locals outside. But how we attract true international students to the center as a center for international education, that is a challenge, I think. And we need to work together. And I know there are another question about that. And why the students intentionally want to come to Hong Kong, Macau, and university in mainland China. Secondly, it's easier actually for the faculties, international faculties, and we are trying international faculties. Hong Kong is doing well. Macau, we are doing well. With the University of Macau, we have over 25% faculty are non-Chinese, and we're doing even better now after COVID. We're advertised for positions, and we are trying to, in some area, more non-Chinese than Chinese. And of course, in mainland part of GBA, they are doing a lot of work to attract international faculty. And third, of course, is international research. So with those sort of strength and the competition, and for international students, international faculty, international research corporations under current geopolitical environment, it is a challenge for us all, I think, and for us to make an international education center. But on the other hand, and if we look at the China, we are more international, more multicultural. But what I think we need to sit down together to work out some in-depth cooperation and substantial cooperation. Those current cooperation, I think, is a sort of surface in my mind. Set up alliance, set up joint laboratories, and which is not good enough. Say, for example, and there are some even good practices in Europe, in the UK, I know quite well. And is that, for example, if we have, in the UK, they, not, of course, it's on one country, but they have established in the past 10 years a doctoral training center across the university in specific topic and funded by the Research Council, and bring people together from students from several universities, actually physically together. And those, I think we can do better, and have one university in Hong Kong, one university in Macau, and one university in Great Bay, and to have those sort of doctoral training center or this type of more substantial and also sustainable approach. And by cross appointment of the faculties and so on and so on so forth, and also join or dual or even 3 PhDs certificates for students. So I'm more thinking about what we can do in more in-depth and substantial ways to take those strengths to become what we call international education hub or center in students, in faculty, in research. Yeah.
Okay, so Professor Song's view is that so far, the collaboration is still, superficial. So we need something which is more in-depth to enhance the collaboration among the universities. So now we have Professor Joe Qing, your turn to share your views.
Okay, thank you. Between our university, say Lingnan and the GBAAA universities, we can just look at the big picture. There are a few options, right? One is, do we want to compete against those universities in mainland China in general? I don't think that's a good way to do. We're not going to be able to compete with the huge system in China, in mainland China. Number two is we don't want to become one of them, just like another mainland Chinese university in 10 years or 20 years. So we want to develop our own characteristics and maintain our internationalization leadership. On the other side, I would like to say that there's something we can do to help the Greater Bay and also maybe even Greater China in terms of the education system, okay? Lingnan has the liberal arts education model. Baptist also has that model. But if you look at mainland China now, I counted the number of students who are really studying liberal arts model. There's probably less than 0.04% or 0.05%. So that's just, you can neglect that. Basically, it's this CUHK and UIC, those jointly operated campuses that has the liberal arts education model. However, in the West world, liberal arts education is a very important education model. You can see a lot of the politicians, world leaders, scientists, whatsoever, and actors or whatever, the society leaders, many of them are products of the liberal arts education. And I sort of emphasize that in my talk. I say, given this AI and a lot of things can be done by AI, it's the critical thinking that cannot be replaced by AI. I think that's what we need to really develop more and maybe help the Greater Bay Area to develop more. I know now they are not looking at liberal arts education universities yet. They're looking at just maybe the innovation you can give them tomorrow. They can just become #1 in the world. But I would say what's missing here is really the education of the people, education in the humanity, and really what will win at the end is really whether our culture will stand. So I think having this humanistic focus on the education, then you'd have the brain and the diversity of the talents we educate. That will foster innovations. Really, if all these 10 million graduates from mainland each year, they have similar training, I don't think that's a good way to foster innovations. So I would say we have a good opportunity. Maybe when time is right, we can contribute and I would say, and also complement to the system in mainland.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So your view is that Hong Kong institutions still have strengths that can complement the development of institutions in other parts of the GBAAA. That's a good point. Now we move to Professor Max Sung from Hong Kong U to share your views on this topic.
Hello. I just want to follow up. I think look at what happened to the sister institutions. I'm thinking, Hong Kong is the lagging behind. We are not in the Bay Area yet. But I'm thinking, what we are looking for the universities to be in Shenzhen, in Zhuhai. I think what we are lacking here is the space equipment funding. So why not we jointly have maybe a national lab in the Loop area? We can all work together. Why? I mean, every university have to go and spend so much time knowing the local politics, moving people across the border, and everybody have to do everything from scratch. But if we could, for STEM major, if we could have 1 or 2, maybe 3, national labs, we can all work there. And by the way, not everybody want to do this transporting mood. Some of us want to be here. Some of us want to go to the Bay Area because there are labs. So be a more democratic way that we form a team, all universities. We form a team, we set up a national lab in the Bay Area. Whoever can find the space, we go there. Maybe let the country, the governments purchase the fancy equipment for us. I think that's really attractive. If you want me to go there to build all the buildings and hire people, it's not in my best interest. So that's for STEM education. And if you look at the national labs in US, I think they are, for example, the Berkeley Lawrence Lab. It's managed by the universities. Stanford have a SLAC lab from DOE, MIT have Lincoln Lab. We are like that. We don't have any sustainable leading labs that we can put on the international map. Then follow Joe's idea. I think we can also, there are a lot of things we could share with mainland universities. I think there are a lot of ways we do things and how we educate students can also be shared with mainland people. And by the way, there are a lot of practice from Hong Kong, move from Hong Kong to Shenzhen. They actually built up Shenzhen. I think even Shenzhen people see that. So we can also, again, maybe have a joint university somewhere near the border. Then we can all go and then work with mainland colleagues. So I just don't think it's cost effective for every university, every department to go to the Bay Area. If we jointly do this, it might pick the best side of both of the same coin, and then we can achieve win-win situation. So that's my opinion.
Thank you, Max. So maybe something of a collective effort, right? To do things together somewhere in the Bay Area. National labs are ideas which have been floated around. We just have to wait to see whether somebody or the central or the local government will give us money to do it. So now let's move to SUSTAC, Professor Ting Li. Yeah, your turn to say something on this topic of strengthening collaborations between universities in the GBAA.
I actually very much agree with Professor Shen. I think there's no necessity for rebuilding all the infrastructures if we can find a way to better utilize the existing infrastructure and then joint efforts in building some of the new infrastructures. I remember from your talk, you were mentioning that we actually are lagging far behind compared to the other 3 Bay Areas in terms of the overall quantity and quality of the infrastructures. At the same time, SUSTAC has been tasked by the central government to build some of the latest large-scale scientific infrastructures. But we worry that we don't have 100% utilization of these facilities. So, if we can find a way to create a consortium of all the Great Bay Area universities to join efforts on these things, and then that might be a more effective use of all the resources that we can jointly allocate. And then on that front, I already saw that Professor Shang in University of Macau, you have been reaching out to many of the peer universities in the area, including SUSTAC, inviting us to join some of the research coalitions, and then hopefully that can be the basis for building these infrastructure that can be better, benefiting all the higher education institutions and research institutes in the region. So that's my 2 cents on this.
I mean, there is a national lab in Shenzhen, right? The Pengcheng Laboratory. Except how people in Hong Kong can have access to that or be funded to do work there. That's the question, I think. Okay, so we will move to the next question, which is the future development of the northern metropolis. In Hong Kong, the government has been talking about this. Of course, they've been talking about the loop area, for 6 years by now. So I don't know when we will have land from the Northern Metropolis project. But nevertheless, you can envision what you would like to do. So in the media, we've heard a few universities saying that they would like to set up something there, including ourselves. So let's invite Nancy to say something on this. HKUST, you have more land than us anyway.
Not true. So I think each of the 8...
Northern Metropolis, huh?
Yeah, each of the 8 UGC-funded institutions have been invited to submit plans, right, to EDB. So HKUST does plan to have a satellite campus in the Northern Metropolis. We believe that this satellite campus will be the critical link in our envisioned innovation belt for HKUST. So starting from the south, we have the Clearwater Bay campus, then our campus in the Northern Metropolis, then our research platforms in Shenzhen, and then the Research Institute in Nansha and our Guangzhou campus. So to us, this forms the HKUST Innovation Belt in the GBA. So what do we plan to do there? Of course, this is just a vision. So we plan to set up 3 academies. One is Academy of Future Medicine. Another one is Academy of Future Innovation and Technology. A third one is Academy of Interdisciplinary Collaborations. And we believe that these 3 academies align very well with the 3 futures that are outlined in our strategic plan. The 3 futures are the future of living, the future of work, and the future of people. So our plan is to set up this satellite campus in the Northern Metropolis that would further strengthen our capabilities in the Clearwater Bay campus. And we also envision that in the Northern Metropolis, there will be, industry, engagement, because the area, I believe, is really well positioned to attract companies from overseas, from mainland, to really converge in the Northern Metropolis and contribute to the overall, positioning of Hong Kong as the international innovation and technology hub. So that's our current plan for now.
Thank you, Nancy. Alex, your turn. You're going to move your campus to Northern Metropolis?
Yeah, you
I
asked
heard the
about,
rumor.
You asked about branch campus. Actually, if I have my choice, I'm not interested in a branch campus. I want to move the whole campus.
That's what I heard.
Well,
You can give your campus in Kowloon to us.
yeah, there's a dowry I give back to the government. Okay, we estimated $40 billion, Hong Kong. Okay, the reason is very simple. I mean, we don't have that many students. We don't have that many faculty members. You have a divided campus. Typically, then people are very, very strange. Even if, I don't know, I mean, a couple street corner down the road, then they stop interacting. So if I could have 3 times, 5 times the area what we have, I can restructure my academic buildings better. I will build more student hostels such that Hong Kong is strange. I mean, we all agree, I think everybody here agree that, student hostel life is a very important part of university education. But because of land constraint, Hong Kong government have been 1 year in the span of study. Before 3 years college, for 3 years only can live 1 year on campus. Now it's 4 years. That I hope if we are given a campus enough size, then our students can live there all 4 years, and that will really help them educate. And the part about connection with our Zhuhai campus doesn't really matter too much, whether it's in Northern Metropolis or in the reclaimed land in the middle of the sea or something. I just want more land, because right now, every time a professor wants a new studio, want a new lab, they fight, and they end up on my doorsteps. So But the problem is, nobody mentioned it yet, okay? According to government plan, the land will not be ready, Lofty Metropolis, until the 2030s, early 2030s, right? We all heard that briefing. And then let's say we get the land, you get the money, you build it. It will beyond 2035, might be 2040. I'm not sure having a campus at that time mean anything to us anymore. It's 2014.
That's right,
We're
exactly.
about 10, 15 years away.
Yeah. Thank you. And CTU, Professor Lee, you have also said something about
CTU will be very interested to extend our innovation and applied research arm into the Lofton Metropolis. One of the reasons is that CTU currently have a research institute at Fujian doing translational research. For example, we have team researching on commercially viable tabletop electron microscope. We also have team working on close to product medical device. And the Fujian Institute is quite close to some area in the Northern Metropolitan District. So if we can move our innovation applied research arm over there, there will be good synergy to make use of both places to build a better ecosystem.
Okay, well, good. I think I would guess that other institutions are also interested in having a piece of the Northern Metropolis, including my university, but we have to move on. Okay, so next question is actually, if Hong Kong is going to become an international education hub, we have to have a student body which is sufficiently diversified. At this moment, our non-local students, the vast majority of them come from the mainland. So we have become very popular with mainland students, but I think so far, the overseas foreign students, still is, by far a minority. So this is an area that we have to work on, and let's see what good ideas we can have, for attracting such students. So maybe we start from EDU,
Well, I think one of the ideas suggested in the question is to provide student loan system. So it might be one of the ways to support the international students. As you said, we are having difficulty in recruiting students from international or other
sources,
or international sources or overseas countries. So many of them are finding Hong Kong a bit expensive to live in, they have to pay the hostel and to pay all the living expenses. So this might be one of the ways that we can investigate. So there are some practical problems that we may need to look at, because people will ask, is there a quota, or how do we define international, and why are we not offering the loan to outstanding students from mainland China as well? And there are some ways that we may need to plan for chasing after the loan after they graduate. And current practice among the universities that we hold their certificate, their award, before they pay up all the fees, even for local students. And so I'm not sure whether technology can help us here. In future, might be they are not holding the so-called paper certificate, but a form of a virtual certificate that they must repay the loan after a certain year. If not, the virtual certificate may expire.
Maybe we issue a certificate which is valid only for 10 years.
Yes, validity. And then if they're not repaying, we will...
they have to come back
for
a new certificate.
Yeah, they'll renew it, or it may disappear like in a Harry Potter movie. All right, so that's some of the practical questions that we may need to look at. Yeah.
One idea was to get the banks to do it, where the government will underwrite risks. So basically, if you now give out 300, this morning our education bureau secretary or Deputy Secretary said, they increased the scholarship by 50%. I don't know how many that is. If it's like 100 scholarships, you can use that money, to pay for the interest rate or something else. So this is one possibility. Of course, you are most welcome to come up with even better ideas. Hong Kong U, Max, you are supposed to give us some good ideas on this.
Yes.
If not loans, what else you can do? Hong Kong U has a lot of money you could just give away.
Yeah, well, relatively. I think the answer to this question is very simple. Advertisement and money. I think she just covered the money side. But I think overall we need to go out and let people know about Hong Kong. Overall, actually, have provided very good education. Just a couple weeks ago, a delegation from French universities came to Hong Kong U and talked about collaboration. And then we discovered actually we have more than 160 French students in Hong Kong U. And then so I did further research and we found out that we have, basically certain countries who come to Hong Kong, especially Hong Kong U, all the time. But there are many other countries. There's no student from them. So I think we can jointly, maybe as a team, to broadcast how good, how great Hong Kong is, especially for graduate education. I think they came here for 3 years and then 4 years, and then they can work. For a lot of countries now in war or poverty, for example, people from Iran, they are really smart. They are all going to US for graduate school. But if we get some of those students and then from mid-Asia, South America, we can all join forces and then take some funding from the government to broadcast the 8 universities together. And then we can attract more students apply to Hong Kong altogether. I think then each one of them will benefit. I'm more a socialism. I always promote joint efforts. So I think we can all together work on this jointly.
I think particularly for some untapped markets, a joint effort will be very useful because you have to open the door first. Even though eventually it's all go to Hong Kong U, that's still good. Okay. The next, I think where is this? Sustek? Okay, so we want to, Professor Jing Li, you can share your views, but your tuition fee is much cheaper, so maybe it's easier.
Actually, you know us. Professor Chen used to be on our senior management team. So we're particularly bad at attracting international students. I think we have about less than 2% of our student body of non-mainland Chinese students. We're going to work hard on it, but I've been thinking about this question for a while because I'm in charge of global strategies for the university. I think we are going to have some difficulties attracting more students from the US and continental Europe countries, but there's going to be better hope for attracting Asian students, particularly both the Korean, Japan, and also ASEAN economies. So we are actually talking very actively with some of the counterparts in Korea, for example. One way that we've been thinking about is we're going to offer tuition-free exchanges. Basically, we're going to attract some of the students they have and then come to our campus for a year, at least a half a year, and we're going to send the same amount of students to their campuses. And when it becomes more mutually acceptable, we could consider offering dual degrees. They can get a degree from their host home institution and also from SUSDAC and vice versa. That as a way to encourage more flows of students from both sides. And Australia is another place that we're going to be very interested in looking into opportunities on that. Mm-hmm. But back to North America and European students, you probably remember last year, towards the end of last year, President Xi made an open invitation to invite 50,000 US youth to come to China over the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. And SUSDAC has been thinking hard about taking a piece of that. We're going to hope to invite 2,000 students over the next 5 years, not necessarily for long term, like a year or even more, but maybe for a month or two, a short-term visit to understand China and particularly understand the Great Bay Area. Mm-hmm. I think on that, we indeed would like to join force with all of you, because when they come to Hong Kong, they can come to mainland China also. They can look to all the universities here and learn from you, and also go to see the enterprises in mainland China. So that might be something that we can join force.
But how successful have you been in attracting this planned 2,000 students from the US so far?
We have the plan. We are about to get started. Hopefully this year we're going to try 400 students.
Oh, you are going to
We'll
launch
let you
it?
know. Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
Okay, keep us informed.
Yeah.
Professor Song Yonghua, your turn. Macau, you can attract them by casinos.
And there are three sort of things currently we are doing in Macau for attracting international students. First of all, the government. And the government now, of course, want to diversify our economy from just tourism, casino to other things. And one of the things is higher education. Because Macau is small, but we have 10 universities there. And they grow very rapidly as well. And half of them are private universities like UST, Macau City University, Macau, all those are private universities. So the government actually organized trips led by them, the director of the bureau to Malaysia, and I went myself as well with them, and to Thailand.
So it was
Portuguese.
led by the director of your education bureau.
Bureau, yeah, that's the first thing. I've been working very hard. That's their KPI, and help us to attract international students, and by also offer some sort of scholarship through them to as a first thing. Second is that for the University of Macau, because our tradition is Portuguese-speaking countries, and there are 9 Portuguese-speaking countries that were very popular there, particularly for the University of Macau. Now, in all rankings, league tables, we're ranked number 1 now in Portuguese-speaking countries, including Brazil, Portuguese. So a lot of students want to come to University of Macau for study. And of course, there are 2 issues. One is the funding issue, and because of the Macau's government policy and it's together with central government policy, and actually Macau Foundation offers substantial scholarships. And second, of course, even in those countries, there are a selective few rich people, they want to send their kids to this part of the world. They choose Macau. So that part we are pretty good to some extent. And of course, in order to diversify our international students, we would like to have more, for example, students from Europe and also from North America. And we are adopting a different strategy for that. We are not sort of attract degree students to those programs. We attract exchange students who are very popular for that part. From a student from Europe and come for a semester. And I work very hard on that part because we want to keep our campus more international, but not just have degree students. Exchange, if they come, stay in our resident college, and our student benefits a lot. So with that part, because we don't charge them fee as such, and as exchange students, and at the same time, of course, and bilateral, and we send our students to their universities. So that is those 3 sort of strategy we are kind of working on it, and we see the academic growth of United States after COVID, and better than even before COVID. So keep a finger crossed. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good news. Okay, so I think we have to move to the final question. So we have 11 minutes and 30 seconds left. So we have 4 presidents to answer the question. If you keep it to your 3 minutes, we should be nearly there. Okay, so the first one. This question is really about, it's a follow-on question on this attracting international students. And obviously one of the market is the Belt and Road, related countries and regions. Particularly these countries, of course you can attract students to Hong Kong, but in addition, you can also do something to provide training to people in these countries to support the initiative of Belt and Road. So from this other angle, can I ask, Professor Lee of CDU, you are to start on this question?
Oh, this morning,
Minister in Kazakhstan.
Minister Newbeck tell everyone that CDU have a lot of students from Kazakhstan. Well, actually, each year we admitted around 9,500 students of different levels altogether. Out of this 9,500, around 900 students are from the Belt and Road country. It's close to 10%. But that's why some ranking agents say CityU is very international. Well, actually, we see that it's, many of these Belt and Road students from Belt and Road country are very good, including those Kazakhstan one. Also, as mentioned by the minister, CityU is planning to set foot on Kazakhstan because we not only see this as a good source of good students, but also we see the potential because many of the Belt and Road countries are developing very fast. Eventually, the new market will be there. We hope that, well, currently CityU is working very hard on building a culture of innovation. We hope that on one day we can spread our culture of innovation to this Belt and Road country and make use of the potential of their market and then work out something that can benefit both Hong Kong and those Belt and Road countries.
Okay, thank you, Professor Lee. Now, so CityU has made a move into the Middle Asia. It's a very good, bold move. So some of you may want to consult CityU if you want to do the same thing. And now we have Lingnan University. Want you to say something on this aspect?
Yeah, I think for internationalization or bringing international students to Hong Kong as a hub, that's a great challenge. Okay, I would say China, mainland China is a major one. That's, by the way, it's also on the Belt and Road, right? It's the beginning of the Belt and Road. So for Lingnan, just last week we organized a high school principal forum. We actually had invited high school principals from 9 countries. I think all of them are on the Belt and Road, if you include India also. So we get high school principals from India and from, of course, Kazakhstan and so on. So it's something I think we can do, and also with a little bit financial help in this category, because our tuition is really on average too high to the average citizens in those countries. Okay. But I think they are the best source of talents we can reach. On the other hand, if you want to become an international hub, education hub, you really have to have something that you stand out, right? They study at your site because of a few reasons. One, it's better degree than what they can get at home. Two, they could stay on to find a job. Okay, and settle. And if you give them a loan, they need to be able to get a salary that can pay off. So really, the financial side and our immigration system has to adapt in order to make this happen. I would say that U.S. is known for attracting international students because they know there's a possibility to stay there and find a good job. Okay, Hong Kong does not have that image yet. I think we have an immigration system that has not changed since
But now, to be fair, now if you get a degree from a university in Hong Kong,
you get 24 months.
But you have 24 months to find a job. You'll be guaranteed a visa, which is easier than in the U.S.
Yes, but still, I think we know that. I'm not sure if.
So it's the issue of promoting this kind of messages.
Parents and high schoolers in those countries know. I think there's a issue about how do we get the rest of the world know what we're doing.
One of the things I want to sort of interrupt. One of the things I think you mentioned is flying the high school principals into Hong Kong.
Yeah.
This is an area I think the university in Hong Kong should work together, because it's much easier for this guy to come in, visit each university within 1 week. It's more interesting.
Yeah.
For him to come here and only spend time at Lingnan and then go back, you spend money, you cannot cover all the principles.
Yeah.
So we did some. I would strongly urge that we somehow pull this together, because
let's do it together next year.
Yeah, then I think they come here to do a summer school 1 week of the principals. So we can then afford to fly in many more principals.
Yeah.
of the schools.
By the way, they were very impressed with what we can do.
They have to
here at
understand
Mainland.
that students can graduate here, find a good job, repay the loan, and get married. So it's a good place. Okay, so we have education in university. Professor Cheng. Yeah.
Thank you. So for the EduHK, we have been involved in some World Bank projects in supporting universities in Vietnam. Like we work with the heads of the universities and their vice presidents to draw up some strategic plan and then draw up their KPIs some years ago, and the project was supported by the World Bank. And there is another project that we work on with Cambodia, and that was to build the capacity of the teachers in higher education. And eventually, through these two projects, we managed to recruit some of the teachers or lecturers in the universities to come to our university to do a doctor of education. And so this is some way that we contribute to the
So their tuition fee was paid by the government?
By their government, and some of them are actually fee-paying for themselves or by their universities. They are supported because these people are working in the universities themselves. And then there is a third initiative that we work with Kazakhstan, and then working with the universities and also the Ministry of Education in advising education development in a city in Kazakhstan. So these are some of the ongoing initiatives, and we're also working with other Belt and Road countries at the moment. Yeah.
Good, thank you. So some in-depth collaboration to have a mechanism to attract them, I guess it's one way to go. Rocky, you have the final say. Share your philosophical perspective.
Thank you very much, JG. So this topic about Belt and Road is really an important issue. Now let's figure out first what this whole initiative is about. I think my understanding, my very sort of layman understanding, is that it is about developing a new economy in the world, something that's separate from Europe, Americas, and even this part of Asia. It is about developing a new economy. So to develop a new economy, you need people who have talent, skill set, and then you have an ecosystem that allows new industries, new businesses to develop. That's how you develop a new economy. So I completely agree with the previous speakers about getting students to come here and, straight out from secondary school, and it's actually, by the way, a really good deal, because we didn't spend a dime on them. Their mom raised them, fed them, either bottled milk or whatever, and changed their diapers, and then at age 18, they come to Hong Kong. They study for 4 years, as JG, you said, you work for a couple of years and you can stay in Hong Kong. But what does that do for the Belt and Road country? It's wonderful.
Later on, he can go back to...
Well, they may not go back. My point is this, that it's really good for the Belt and Road country person, but is it really good for the Belt and Road country? We can't control that, of course. But it's a good deal for Hong Kong because we didn't spend a dime. Anyway.
Long term, it's good also for the Belt and Road countries. This is like the time when Max and I left China, mainland China. So Deng Xiaoping sent a lot of people.
I understand.
Out.
No. I'm not discounting that. Also, if you take India as an example, India's sort of IT industry came about because a lot of Indian students wanted to go to America, so they study like hell. They learned a lot, and then they couldn't get in MIT, and then so ended up staying in India, and then they became entrepreneurs. And I mean, seriously, this is one of the reasons why the IT industry is so strong in India. Anyway, the point I was trying to make is as follows. To help the Belt and Road country themselves, we could either start de novo, high school students come here and study, and we hope that they will go back, right? Most of them will go back. Or we catalyze. You either start a new reaction or you catalyze an existing reaction. And I'm really glad to hear Professor Cheng's point. why don't we take somebody who is somewhere along the way already, like a professor, like a teacher, like somebody who's starting a new industry without enough skills, and we get them to come to Hong Kong, micro-credentialing, whatever you want, polish them up, sharpen their skill set. Then they return. They'll definitely return because their family is back there, right? Or their company is there, whatnot. And then, and the university, because we have a lot of different areas that we're very good at. Oh my goodness. Okay, I just watched the, yeah. Time is frozen. Okay, no problem. So my point is that we might want to think about, and this could be a joint university effort actually, come up with a set of courses that can be taught in, say, 6 months or whatever, on a particular topic. Let's say, first of all, ask that country, what kind of industry would you like to start? And let's say they say, you know what, we just want textile industry. Well, PolyU, very good, right? One of the best in the world. And I didn't just pick that randomly. But anyway, but my point is that there are things we can make them become the next step better. So we don't just work with students. Wonderful to work with students, but we can go further. So that's a catalysis that I'm suggesting, that perhaps we can join forces and make it happen. A micro-credentialing of some sort.
Thank you, Rocky. This is a different angle of looking at this possibility. I think that's a very good idea. Okay, I think the time is up. So as president, you want to well behave yourself, so we don't want to stay here for too long. So I was supposed to conclude this session. So before we do that, can I invite you to thank the speakers first?
Let's put our hands together to thank our panel, please. And thank you also to Professor Tang for moderating the session for us.
And we want to thank all the people in the audience, because it's although I'm sure all the presidents think they have said something very valuable, but for you to have stayed here for so long until the end is still very special. So thank you so much, and thanks to Nancy for your leadership to organize the forum, and also the colleagues in the secretarial support team. So thank you so much. I think we can finish here and go back to our next meeting in the university. I have one at 6:30. So
thank you, but before that, can we have you stay on the stage for a photo to commemorate this very important forum that we have for today? And let's stand together and smile for the camera at the center. And ladies and gentlemen, please, another big round of applause to all our presidents here for such an insightful sharing and conversation, really, for your generous sharing of your insights and from your experiences. Okay, one more with our official photographer, please. I'm sure our audience have learned a lot from our program today, from all the experts and leaders in the education field. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you once again for your time and your contributions. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we'll conclude our summit here today. A heartfelt thanks once again to our distinguished guests for inspiring us. Higher education plays a critical role in Greater Bay Area's integration by nurturing the human capital essential for driving innovation and propelling our national technological advancement. Today's summit has propelled Hong Kong aspirations to emerge as a premier international education hub and has charted a clear roadmap towards our collective goals. As we bring the summit to an end, we extend our sincerest gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to be part of this transformative event. Thank you once again, and we'll see you next time. 再次感谢各位的出席，我们下一次再见，谢谢。